Thursday, and we all know what that means. Yes, a show that almost always starts on time.
Hey!
The show that will never get boring arguing over semantics.
Hey!
Right. It's that show on Thursday with Ziona and Slaygon. Live on Slay Radio.
Hello, hi.
Hi.
I think we're live again.
You think?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we are.
Can it ever happen that we go live without unnoticed,
Well, I did kind of have a practice half hour there with going live and whatnot.
Was
right
it a
before.
good practice? Because it sounded good.
It was a very nice practice indeed.
Was it?
It was indeed.
Nice.
If you weren't tuned in before now, you missed a hell of a nice DJ set by DMC. Thank you very much to DMC for that. It should be up on YouTube and Twitch as a separate clip now. So
Yep.
there's that. So
There's that. And
not on Twitch. What Oz says? I don't know. What do you mean not on Twitch?
I mean, Twitch usually shows the latest show after it happened, and maybe some not that fresh things are still there for a little while, but after a while they disappear. That's very true. So
Yeah,
I
but
don't
that's
know for
weeks,
how long.
like
yeah.
2 weeks or something.
But it depends on how many shows you do, because then if you do more, then the previous ones won't be visible.
Anyway,
That's
don't
very
even
true.
know what he was commenting on.
Yeah, but anyway,
Maybe he thought we are not live on Twitch. Anyway, I think we are live there. I see ourselves on the Twitchy thing. I see ourselves on the YouTube thing. And hello, everyone. And all of that. Yes.
all of that. Hello,
All of that,
everyone, and
so,
all of that. We
yes.
have a very special evening because, as we know, 2023 was the year of the Brown. And Glyn R. Brown, our symphonic hero of the remix scene, won 3 categories in not in 2023. Technically, he won in 2024, but it was about the remixes of 2023.
You're complicating things.
I know. I'm
Remixer
very
of the
good at
year,
that.
2023. There we go.
Yes, okay. So the thing is that definitely he will be interviewed by us today, or we will have a discussion. I think
or the other way around.
or the
Who
other way
knows?
around, he will interview us. We never know that, but we certainly will have a lot of questions for him, and you guys can have those too. So prepare your questions. What would you ask from
a drunken sailor.
Well, that you can also prepare, but it would be less useful for tonight.
Probably.
Maybe at summer when you visit the Slay Radio gathering in August, then you can ask the drunken sailors as well. That would be more appropriate.
I don't know how many sailors we will get, except for one, maybe.
I don't know, but at
Danish.
summer I think sailors tend to go on the sea, and we are kind of next to the sea in Gothenburg.
Yeah, but the Slay Radio gathering, I don't think gets too many sailors, except for that one Danish.
Yeah, exactly. But we are close to water anyway, so if anyone feels like having some other programs as well, not only gathering, then there are certainly some things to do in Gothenburg.
Yeah.
We can say as much. And yes.
Yeah. And Berlusconi says TV is off. Yes, it's off. Well, technically not off. It's just showing a black picture.
Yeah.
That's actually true. But that's because I was prepping for the interview and whatnot, and just didn't have time to fix that before I needed to get the DMC stuff going. So,
wow. Okay.
Just once we start the first track, I'll sort that out and all of that. And Paranoid Droid says, OLED black. Indeed.
OLED black. Yes, entirely black.
Yes.
Like we are very black.
Well, technically not an OLED, I guess. It's a QLED. So.
I realized I'm not logged in here. What happened? It's like I should be logged in on a show. Technically
that would be
helpful. very helpful.
Indeed.
Wow, that request, the first request, we need to play this one as first today. I'm just really keen into this because I think
It's appropriate, yes.
not only appropriate, but it also gives you a very good idea where one can start and where one can end.
I hope it's not the end of Glyn.
No, I mean until this very moment, obviously.
Maybe after tonight it will be the end of Glyn.
Oh my God, he just gives up on us. Like, no, not talking with these anyway. Like it ever again. Like, enough of this thing.
Or we kill him.
Why would we do that?
Being the end of someone means dying.
Yes, I know it means that, but why would we do that?
We wouldn't do that. It would happen because of us. We wouldn't do it.
Okay, so anyway, don't overcomplicate things. Someone told me 3 minutes ago.
Yes.
Never mind that part. The first request is very appropriate because, well, first of all, it's made by Shargo, and we can get used to this, that Shargo does the first request. So, well, that's like a tradition by now. And he wants to hear a remix that was Glyn R. Brown's first red face rated remix on RKO ever. It was in 2001, so, well, he is into the industry for a while now, right? But this was the very first red-faced remix, released in May of 2001, and it's called The Last Ninja 2001 Mix.
Understanding yourself without understanding your enemy only gives you half a chance of victory. There are many more skills to master, but you have taken your first step.
Badum-tsh. Was it a badum-tsh? But no fiddly-dum.
Not yet. I wasn't in the fiddly-dum. I haven't kind of tuned in to that mood yet. I was busy fixing that. And
okay.
Also I created a new channel on Discord. If you want to ask Glyn R. Brown some questions later on when he joins us, please ask the questions and keep the discussions to an absolute minimum in the channel called Glyn-Questions.
Otherwise we will be lost amongst the questions.
Yeah,
and the
they will just scroll off screen,
Yes.
which is why no discussions in there, just the questions.
But there is a discussion on the public channel.
Yes, I know, but oh yeah,
I did not say it
yeah,
to you.
I realized that, but yeah. So if you want to discuss, of course, we have the public channel, but questions, please ask them in the Glyn Questions channel, and start putting those questions in there right now, if you want. There was actually one question already. Where do these samples come from in that last Ninja song? Yeah, and also include the track name in there, because in this one will be like past.
That is very true. Yes, that is very true. So, yeah, it's exciting.
Indeed.
And approximately when we will start to question him?
I guess in about 10 minutes.
Whoa, so soon?
Yes. Our test call kind of went by so damn quick. It was like we started and then all of a sudden it was like 11 or whatever.
Oh, Slaygon is afraid that we are going over time.
No, I'm afraid that we won't get through all the questions or discussion topics or whatever. Not that we have any topics literally this time. We have a couple of questions, yes. But no, like, it's not going to be very organized this time around. We're just going to sit and talk for a bit and see where it goes. And then we'll throw in some questions from the Glyn Questions channel. So, yeah, great if you throw in all of your questions in there. And we'll post them to Glyn.
Yeah, post them to Glyn.
Yes, we post them.
We post them, so
Not
at least
post.
he sees.
Pose.
Yeah, I get it, but I thought
Strike a
that we
pose.
will just ask them live instead of posting.
Yeah, we're not posting, we're posing. Pose. You pose the question, as in you ask the question.
Oh, no.
Not
always,
post.
Always something to learn.
We
Sorry.
post them with our mouth.
Right, okay. Well. Did you prepare a request by any chance?
I prepared something. Right. Hi. Yes, I did.
Right.
I did indeed have a thingy here. And hopefully it's not on repeat or whatever. Or autoplay. Who was the requester?
The requester
requestee
is Paranoid Droid.
Paranoid Droid.
And the request was My Pixels Are Weapons by Cube. This was a soundtrack for the Kickstarter introduction video of the Masters of Pixel Art Volume 3. Just so you know.
Nice.
So, yes.
And yes, pixels can be weapons. If you make a perfect print on metal of a pixel, it's gonna have 4 edges, and you can use that as a weapon. There you go.
You were so creative tonight.
Yes,
it's unbelievable.
That's a very good tip for a weapon right there. Pixel weapons.
Yes, thank you.
Here is My Pixels Are Weapons. Fully-dum. Fully-dum.
Wow.
Budum dish.
Oh, excellent request, Paranoid Droid. Very nice song.
Really nice.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. And you got your Fully-dum mood now, so everything is back on track.
Almost back on track, I think. We even have the TV, all of that. So, yeah, and I guess we will bring in Glyn very shortly. So, yeah, it's gonna be fun. Why is that green over there? I'm wondering.
Green? What?
I have here. It's green.
Oh.
What does that even mean? I don't know.
I don't know. On my end, it's not green.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Maybe because people started to ask questions on the Glyn Questions channel.
No. Can't be that. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Well,
It's... Oh.
that
It's some pause music from... Ah, there we go. That's what it was. It was the Let's Chill and Make a Remix channel that has like a lounge music thingy in there while you
Where
wait.
is that coming from? Oh, wow. They have an elevator music.
Yes.
Meanwhile, and you joined that channel and you didn't notice?
Accidentally clicked the channel before because the Glyn Questions is right above it, so I accidentally clicked it, and then it thought I joined it or whatever.
Excellent. Well, okay.
Now,
Okay.
Okay.
We don't talk that much because we will talk much later on.
We will talk a lot.
We might talk a lot here, indeed. But FS wanted fast loaders and Central Park loader, also in an earlier piece of gem from RKO.
Yes, and Glyn shall join us after this song.
He shall.
He shall.
Mm.
If all goes well.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Hold on, I just need to put that back on for a bit. Where are we? There. And here.
We are absolutely
Nowhere.
100% almost prepared
Well,
for the
almost.
moment
There we are.
when we can welcome himself personally.
Him himself.
Him himself, Glyn R Brown with us on
Hello,
air.
Glyn.
Hi.
Hello.
Oh, and we are definitely having some echo around there, I
that's-
think.
It's fine. I think now it's fine.
Yep. Just a little bit lower volume will help, I think.
Awesome. Hello, Glyn.
Hello.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm fine. I can't see you no more.
Oh yeah. You can.
What did
Just
you
me.
do?
There we go.
Right.
There we go.
That feels a bit
Hello.
better to talk to someone.
Yeah, that's because I'm sending him the preview image rather
Yes,
than
I
the,
know.
the
I
other,
saw that
other thing.
It's pitch black.
Yeah.
And it's not that comfortable to talk with pitch black.
Nah, it's fine. I'm
Yeah.
the king of darkness or whatever. So there we go.
So anyway, yes, how do you feel tonight? You just joined. How was your day and all of that?
Fine. Quiet day. Had the week off, so... Well, having the week off. It's not really a week off because I've still got other things to do, but work, as in my main job, I've got a week off, so...
No. Yeah, but you switch off with one hobby from another work for 1 week. I
Yeah,
guess.
I don't tend to go to work till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I work in the morning with music projects, whichever I'm working on, and then I do my main job and come back about 8 o'clock and carry on.
Wow, it's like I think many people would ask at this point, what is your main job exactly? Because they would think it's music if we wouldn't ask.
No. I'm a driver for Raw Mail.
Oh, okay.
But I have a nice drive. I drive out in the countryside, so when I'm working on music, I can put it on the MP3 file in the. It's like, what do you call them? Bluetooth. So I can listen to what I'm working on and think it sounds pretty crap, so I can work on it when I get back.
That's excellent because then when we send out the trophies, you can drive them to your own house.
Oh, wow. If he needs to pick it up from a post office, whatever.
And for those uninitiated, this is Glyn R Brown. He won Remixer of the Year, Best Veteran, and Best C64 Remix for 2023, just now in February. So congratulations again to that.
Thank
Was
you.
there anyone who didn't know this?
Well, if there's people who, I don't know, are new to the scene or whatever.
Yes.
Anyway, or watches this later, who knows?
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah,
So yes.
Glyn is like, I don't know, who doesn't know Hans Zimmer?
I mean, yeah, we have, people of the scene. I think he would be the Hans Zimmer of the remix scene.
I would
Marcel
say so,
Donnet
yeah.
is the Vangelis of the remix
Yeah,
scene.
or Jean-Michel Jarre.
Or Jean-Michel Jarre, yes, definitely.
Yeah. And who am I?
Thinking.
It's
like a
the
harder-
unknown one.
No, harder cinematic tracks, like who does the...
Old Junkie XL, maybe.
Yeah, that might be a bit closer to that.
Because junk, you know.
Oh, God. He loves to praise himself. Anyway, have you seen the rocket launch today? Looking at your shirt now.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is actually my day job, really. He did. No, Kenneth was telling me earlier about the launch. I'll watch it later if it's on the YouTube. So
Yeah. What is
interesting.
it called? NASA Space Flight or something like that is the channel that had a live coverage of the whole event.
Okay. Is it this Elon Musk guy? Is it the SpaceX?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's one of his big ass rockets that was like test flight number 3 or something like that. So they actually got up into space this time.
Well, they got people on there.
No.
Oh, right,
Just a
okay.
test flight.
I thought it was
Oh,
an
that's not
actual
interesting.
mission or something.
Test flight, people. Yeah, the last one blew up or whatever. Just put people on there; they'll fix it.
But some people think you are a driver for NASA now. So just so you know,
you drive.
I'll go with that. I'll go with that.
You drive the rocket to the launching pad, and that's your job. Right, so we created a little channel called Glyn Questions, and you could check in there as well on Discord. There's now a channel called Glyn Questions in there. Yeah.
On the Slay Radio channel.
Yeah, Slay Radio server. Yes.
Sorry, and question channel.
Yes. But the first question was actually asked in the public channel, and it was by Polo. We played your first Last Ninja remix there just before.
Not the
Fast Loaders one.
Not the first. It was the first that got a red face on AKO. The very first.
Wasn't it
remix? No, because he had a Last Ninja before.
Of course, yes.
3 Last Ninja remixes in order. The very first one was the intro from 2001, released in February. And then
oh dear!
Yes,
the one with all the sound effects.
He was asking about the Kung Fu Master vocals. Where did those come from? Do you even remember that far back?
Oh God, I'm not sure. I haven't heard it even for a while. What is it? The one it has swords and things, doesn't it? Swords and
I think it did. Yeah,
I think it was recordings of VHS kung fu movies. Or something. I always remember the intro, to Last Ninja with him sneaking up on the castle, and I just always have it in my head that he got over the wall and started fighting, So, I think they were just from old, kung fu movies. Because at the time there was no ripping samples off YouTube or anything like that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, speaking of,
to be honest, I really don't know for sure. I would think it was that.
But speaking of back then, no YouTube to rip things off of. If we go back to these old mixes that you did, you explained it in a way. You had a 4-track that you recorded off of. Could you kind of describe the process?
I remember I think the very first one I did was it Palace Gardens, and that was off. I played that about 4 years prior to that and it was on a cassette, and I tried copying the cassette to an MP3. Which came out really bad. But I used a 4-track recorder, and then you could bounce 3 tracks to the first track and give you an extra few tracks. But there was no mixing and mastering back then. It was all a case of, sellotaped wires with phono in plugs and God knows what. Not like we have today.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of today, what's your process today? Like what, music software, and do you have any outboard gear or anything like that? No. No,
I'm useless when it comes to any. I even have to look up on YouTube. I've used the same DAW for 20 years now, and when it comes to recording any type of audio, I still have to reference it on YouTube because I forget, and then you'll learn a new process of. Linking this, that, and the other, like side chaining, everything. It just goes. I must have one of these brains where nothing sinks in because I'm forever referencing. But I use FL Studio. I always have. I've tried Cubase, as you know, we were talking the other day, but I don't see the point in changing much now. I mean, the overall outcome is it records sound. You put your patterns in, record, your whatever it is you're playing, and then I'd like to switch to Cubase purely because of the industry standard of it. FL Studio is more focused towards what, like I was saying, what JLD would do. It's dance orientated. So using Contact with FL Studio, I wouldn't advise it, because you a lot of EQing in that, because the sound is pretty, I don't know, I think it's already pretty dark or bassy to start with, because I think FL Studio is just designed that way. I don't know for sure. I'm not technically minded at all, but I hear, when I've tried Cubase, you can hear the clarity of the samples and the sounds better than you do with FL, but it's still not enough for me to switch. I just use an EQ when I load up a project, which takes out some low end and gives me that clarity.
Whatever works, I guess.
Whatever works.
It seems like it works for orchestral as well, apparently.
Like I say, when you're collaborating with somebody, especially with the industry, with them using Cubase, it's harder to work with somebody, because I'm having to send stems and MIDI files when you could send project files over if they was in a Cubase session, no doubt. So I'm kind of limited there. That kind of puts me back. But yeah, it still won't make me switch. I mean,
well, you can get pretty far with stems and MIDI files, so it's not strictly necessary, I guess. But if you have a tight deadline and you have several people collaborating on one project, then yeah, sure, I can totally understand that. But
yeah. Tom's, what? Which one?
Okay, I just need to sneak this one in here from Matthias Bryan. Glyn, are you upset that you did not get the Best Newcomer award?
Well, yeah, I might enter under a new name. I think maybe sometimes I've got some old followers from back in 2000, and when they see my name, they'll just vote anyway. So I thought it'd be interesting just to put something up in a completely new name and see if people like it.
Yeah, and you're experimenting with new styles now as well, so you can put something out there and people don't realize it's not big bombastic orchestra stuff. It can't be Glyn.
Yeah, I want to move away from that in a way. I mean, I don't want to move away from it completely. I mean, I like to venture into other parts, but I can still never get my head around what the likes of, again, every time I hear the dance music, I think in the past you think Kronberg and Sonic Wanderer, but today it's JLD, and I don't know, you hear them, you think it should be quite easy to do that, but it's not.
No,
I know
it isn't.
You get a lot of libraries now where you just press a key and you get the whole accompaniment, it's...
Yeah.
But you hear the accompaniment, I think I like to break that down and use a different bass line or something, but then it just goes completely wrong. So
Yup.
I'm not good at the dance stuff.
Wow. I mean,
Some practice.
I think it's good
Some
for you
practice.
because less people can master orchestra the way you do than dance. So proportionally, it's probably better for you on a long run. But I think there was like a very early piece that you nailed. You cannot say that you can't entirely do this. I would just sneak this in here. It's a very fun piece. Anyway, why is it not jumping out?
All right. Yeah.
Yes, that's the one. I think it's something that it's definitely something to remember. Hang on a minute. Yes, and probably the second version of that. Yeah. Yes. So you can't entirely say that you didn't do dance music because this one is from 2001, 2002. Would you guess which one that was? Okay. Does he know?
It's just the old stuff is so crap.
No, that one is absolutely still, I think, time-proof. Well, how would you say? It
has stood the test of time.
Yes. What would you think if we would play that one?
2001.
2, actually. That one is 2.
2002.
Yes. And he doesn't know. That's so
Rubicon?
Cool. No.
Rubicon?
No. I don't. Okay, I will just play it and you will
Now he's
listen.
checking.
You know what I did
To
back
check.
then.
No,
This is mean.
we will just surprise you with it. I think it's worth to mention. This was probably even one of the first ones, and we really can't say that you didn't nail this as in a dance music type of thing. So I'm gonna just
It's still
press play.
great.
Oh,
And we're back.
And apparently this is how Glyn can't do dance music in 2002. So, yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, completely not danceable.
Yes, it's not anything we would ever listen to. What? Why? I mean, it's so
It was
jolly,
fun
and
back in the day.
or you just forgot how to do this, like in about 22, 23 years, right? This is why you say that.
No, if I was asked to do it, I could do it. It's just I like tinkering around with other libraries.
Okay.
Well, speaking of tinkering with libraries and whatnot, I have a good question from Mordy here that says, what was your process for your Firelord and Rustan remixes in 02 and 04? They seem to have been a bit ahead of their time in terms of quality of orchestration, orchestral tracks, and using sample libraries. Did you travel back in time?
For a short while. No. Firelord, that's an old one.
Was that also on the 4-track?
No. I actually got onto FL Studio at that point. It was, Fruity Loops. But that was just all sound fonts and WAV files. I mean, I found a string sample, a single shot violin, and you stretch it, once you load it in, it's across the entire keyboard. It takes a lot of EQing at the time, because to get some low end from a single shot sample was pretty hard to do. But yeah, I was heavily influenced by Hans Zimmer's like The Rock and things back then, as you could tell probably with the chord progressions in Firelord with the hits and things. But process-wise, no, I don't know. I think I just saw the I've never played the game, but with Firelord, when I heard the tune, it had that kind of medieval style to it. And when I do music, I'll sit there and I always imagine as if I'm scoring it to picture. So each part of it has a scene, I imagine a lot of musicians have the same process. But that was all, I think. There was no process behind it or any thought behind it. I was just looping stuff together. And then with the harps, I found a strum harp sample, which worked. Which when it came to playing it again, for Chris Abbott, I had to literally play the harp. So it was a lot harder the second time round, because I just used samples the first time. And with Rastan, God, I remember the woman's vocal at the beginning, and I had no skills at all about stretching samples and timing them. Wow. It was just, I can't remember where that came from. I think, again, it was a sound font library, which was like World Voices. I had the same one for the second Rastan I did, but this time I was able to blend them in and time them better in sequence with the music. But again, I'd never seen the video game or anything. I just heard the music, the Sid tune. I looked up screenshots, and so it's like Conan the Barbarian, so you just go with that process, Yeah. There's no other way.
But really, just one single violin sample, and you just created the rest out of that.
Yeah, with the first Firelord, it was one. Yeah, I think I got one single shot. But they used to call them a single shot, didn't they, or something? One shot sample file or something. Yeah. And then when you play it low end, it sounds like a cello. Yeah. So, but late, I remember having a VST called Edril Orchestra or something. I can't think. I can't remember if it was at that time I had that library or not. I think I had it for Gordian's Tomb, but not for Firelord. Yeah, and that was the belter that were at the time. Edril Orchestra. I think even if you was to load it today, the spiccato strings on there would still stand up today, because they're quite deep and meaty,
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, there's a reason, I guess, Gordian Tom stayed up at number one for so long.
Did it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
For how
Tom,
long?
is that what it
Do
is?
we know
Gordian
for
Tom.
how many years?
Oh, Tomb. Sorry.
Is it Tom? Alright.
Yeah, that is just my bad Swinglish.
It is
Gordian
getting
Tomb.
worse because of me. Sorry about that. Yeah, he kept telling me tomb, not tomb.
Tomb. Yeah.
Tomb. Yeah, so
I heard my tomb.
I remember it being up like at number 1, but for how long? More than 10 years?
Yeah, it was like a decade or something. Like
Whoa.
there were people that kind of got to number 1, but after a little while they just fell down the list. I even came to number 1 at some point, but fell off.
I think that was Firelord, wasn't it?
Was it Firelord?
I don't think Gordian Tomb did so well. It came not as well as.
Okay, maybe.
Let me just check. Now I got curious if my memory is completely off here. Let's see. Sort by score. And then we have Glyn. Of course, you're at the number 1 again. Because reasons. Oh, yeah. Rastan is the one I was thinking of. And then Firelord.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Rastan and then Firelord. I think. No. Yes.
No.
Rastan and then the Firelord.
It can't be up.
Yeah, Rastan was the one, of course.
Yeah, now the Firelord 8-bit symphony version is only the 13th of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's a horrible tune. Only 13th.
Only 13th.
All time.
We should check like the top 10, like how many Glyn tunes are in the top 10 now.
Yeah, well,
Now I'm curious.
there's kind of like with the interview we're having next week, which will be with Tomsk, the winner of Best Amiga Remix. It's very rare that you see a track on any of these charts at 100%. Tomsk's remix is at 100% on the Amiga Remix side, and your Mr. Danko's Opus has 100%.
Yep.
So yeah, pretty much no dissenting voices on those ones. So that's awesome.
Yeah. And Glyn has 3 tunes right now in the top 10. So you took only 3 places out of the top 10. Yes, it's Opus, Denarius, and Metal Warrior Ultra. Warrior. So warrior? Not warrior.
Warrior, yes.
Warrior.
Not warrior.
Warrior.
He's nagging me about this too. Yes. So yeah. Well, 30% of top 10. I guess that's not bad.
Guess not.
Yeah. Doing these things like you don't even know how to stretch samples, like with Rustan. Now I know that you didn't even know how to stretch samples when you did that one. Well, it just shocks me, honestly. Like I don't really know. What would have happened if you would know how to do that? Back in the days, because you said you didn't even know how to stretch samples.
No. I don't think we even had the feature in FL Studio to stretch samples. That only came out about a year ago, where we could actually change the volume of the sample itself. Oh no, you could stretch samples, but I never knew. You see, the problem is when you stretch a sample, if it doesn't, what was it you select? I can't remember. But now you can stretch a sample, it still stays in key.
Yeah.
Oh right, yeah.
As with back then, you stretch it and it just goes either too fast or too slow.
Yeah.
So
like
it would never work.
Yeah, kind of like the Amiga mod samples. It just pitches up as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
Tomsk, with if you kind of think of back then, Tomsk has a good question. He says, was Music 2000 really the first DAW you worked on, or and how many of these early remixes were done on that?
Yeah, Music 2000 was the first on PC. I did the same like he did. I did music on the PlayStation 1 with Music 2000. Not remixes, but on the PC it was Music 2000. Yeah, and I think up till yeah, everything up to file load was on the Music 2000. Then I found Fruity Loops, and then you put everything in with blocks at the time, which was quite easy because you could see the data in the blocks. It was just MIDI data, but you couldn't see it on the playlist. It was just a block.
Is that where you got your colouring from? You coloured the blocks so you would know what's in them.
I colour everything. Like I said, strings yellow, percussion red, brass green, purple for synths. Yeah. I don't know why. And I'll spend half the time messing around making it look nice than doing the actual music.
I know why. I do the same.
Well, my percussion is grey. My basses are grey. My violins are grey.
Yeah, like coloring them and organizing them. That's very important. That was happening. Like when JLD and I did the coup. First things first, he sent over the source file also in Cubase, and I started to organize the tracks into groups and color them. Yeah, I guess it's just some brains just work that way. You need to see them properly.
I've only found out as well that I can throw in wallpaper at the back of my playlist. But it does. Instead of having a black screen though, I can have a picture of if I'm working on, say, something, I don't know, medieval with a flute and everything else, I can throw in a picture of like a Highlands landscape, and it's there in front of you. So you're just more or less doing music to picture. Yeah, I like that feature, but it hides a lot of the lines. So when it comes to moving notes around in the what do you call it? The one where you actually go into your MIDI data, it puts the same picture in, so you can't see the lines of where the notes go. So it can get in the way. I'll tend to throw it up when I'm mixing and mastering though, and it's nice. Nicer than looking at a black screen. Or grey screen. Used to be grey for many years, FL Studio, like a daunting grey. It's horrible.
Oh man. Yeah. Color options? Nah, nobody likes them.
I like more this question though, and we didn't publicly ask this question yet, right? If I recall this one.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So
he's asking on behalf of everyone else.
Yes, on behalf of everyone else, what does the R stand for in your name?
And
Robert.
Oh no, really?
And Lala replied to that and said, "Duh, Remixer, obviously."
That's pretty good. I like that.
Glyn Remixer Brown.
Yeah.
That's quite good, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so you thought that if you would go with your full name, Glyn Robert Brown, that would be too long for a Remixer alias.
It's just a thing that's stuck, because even on my school days, everything on my school books and everything was Glyn R. Brown.
Oh.
And I just kept it. I mean, when you put Glyn Brown, it looks boring, so the R sort of makes it look a bit better. But yeah, it's something that all through when I was at school, and it's just stuck to this day. And then I can't remember, someone published some of my music on something, and they put a dot after the R, and that stuck. So
it looks cool.
Glyn R. Brown.
So if someone says, "Oi, Glyn Brown," you don't hear that anymore.
No, it's like,
And then a good conversation starter. What does R stand for?
Or as Bob would say, Glyn R. Brown.
It fits with the last name and everything.
I think he started that about 2005. I think. Oh no, maybe after, when he used to do the radio shows with. Who did he do his radio shows with?
With Ken's and Skits.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Z Show.
Z Show, yeah. Good times.
Were you following like what happened with Slay Radio over the years?
You Is what? Sorry.
Were you following like what happened with Slay Radio over the years, like live shows and whatnot, and the community?
Then you just used to stream music like a online radio set.
Yeah, first.
Yeah, at first it was just the radio, so audio only. So yeah,
I was out of the scene for many years.
What was that 2005 to 2019?
Sabbath contacted me about the 8-bit symphony that I got back into the Commodore scene, and then I've forgotten how good it was, and I spent days going through all the years of RKO I'd missed, and all the new faces, new music. It was great.
When was that?
I sort of dropped off from 2005, so I didn't catch many of your Slay Radio shows. Sorry.
So now you have a very nice collection, like a jar collection of navel fluff from between 2005 and 2019.
Yeah. It was. When was that 8-bit symphony? Is it 17?
It started in 2015, and I guess when was the concert?
I think it was in 19.
Yeah,
2019 ish.
Yeah, I think so too.
The hall concert.
Yeah.
I just remember picking my lad up from school. I was sat in the car and I got the phone buzzed. It was Chris Abbott, and he said he's doing. Would I be interested in recreating Firelord and Times of Law for this Firestarter, this Kickstarter?
Twisted Firestarter.
Yeah. And I said, really? Sort of thing. And then as soon as he mentioned that he was getting a live orchestra to do it, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. But the thing was, I hadn't done music for quite a while. And this time, like it says with the first Firelord, I had the harps and it was all sample libraries. But this time I had to play the harp notes because it had to be transcribed for an orchestra to play. And I'm like, I haven't got a clue what to do here. I was watching YouTube, seeing what violas do, what violinists do, what the cello does, what the bass player does. And you got to keep... I'm used to... I mean, sometimes if you're doing a big session, you can use an ensemble patch. So it's like the whole thing, as you know. But this time I had to write, obviously you got your basses, your cellos, your violas, violins, two. I've never ever done that before. So it was a new challenge. But to be honest, I learned a lot from it.
Yeah.
I did. But it was hard because I hadn't done anything for so long, and I thought, how the hell am I going to do this? A full orchestration. But yeah, after playing the first few notes, I was away. It just all comes back. I think it's just like they say with riding a bike, Yeah. It's just the software changes and the technology.
I think sorry.
It's been 14 years, right? 14 years of the whole music thing. So you didn't do any music for 14 years between 2005 and 2019?
No, I didn't.
Absolutely. Why?
Did you even whistle?
Sorry.
Did you even whistle?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, the thing is, no, I'm that busy doing other bits and bobs. I don't even find time to listen to music, which is what you should do because that's where you get most of your inspiration from.
Okay.
But at the time I did Firelord, and then back in the day, I was constantly walking around with my MP3 player, so it sinks in and it's easy. It just comes out of you. But now I find it's quite difficult. When you get asked certain style, I'll sit there one night and just research it on YouTube and listen to things. You make a load of notes, then you go back to it next day and you forget all about it. So it's quite kind of pointless. But yeah, I don't know. Music with me isn't something I like doing music, and I'm not passionate about it. It's I don't know.
Nice hobby, distraction, kind of a thing.
Distraction, yeah. And like I say, you get off my Spotify thing and my DistroKid. It's a nice little side side ching type, you know.
Yeah. And you have that halo thing up in there as well. That hopefully
Halo,
makes
yeah.
you some money.
Well, my Halo Reach is the one that's is doing quite well. But my new Spartan 117, which should be out, which I'm supposed to have finished weeks ago, but so many things have been thrown. I'm in the process of. I mean, I'm jumping. Like I say, I'm doing other projects now, which are entirely different from anything orchestral. And then I'm having to do orchestral. It's sort of, I don't know. I think a fully fledged musician or someone who does it for a living can do that quite easily. But me jumping from one to another, I don't know. But like I said, once you sat there for 10, 20 minutes, you just sort of blend in.
Yeah. It's just practice, I guess. You're out of practice on the other types of music, but orchestral, it kind of comes back to you pretty quick. So because you've been doing that through quite a bit.
Yeah, something tells me he would get up to speed very
yeah,
quickly with other songs.
And like I was saying to you the other day, that when you've got a bit of a messy mix going on, you just throw a choir over the top and they hide everything.
Yeah, exactly. Just big on.
Yeah, it's when you've got the solo parts that you have to pay attention to, because you can hear every little knitting. But yeah, I enjoy it. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, let's. That's a good place to put a pin in it. But
bring in some music.
Have something I can kind of tie into that very thing after the song. So continue on the same thread after the song.
Since we talked about 8-Bit Symphony and Firelord and the all-time number one of all time for so long. I think Firelord couldn't miss this show, or we couldn't miss Firelord from this show, right? And
the old one.
No, maybe from the 8-Bit Symphony. Or should we play the old one? I'm not against that either. It's all good.
I mean, some people still like it, I suppose, but no.
No, oh my God. Well, if you would ask us, we would probably be able to literally la the whole thing from top to bottom. How la, yeah, like hum. Yes, thank you. Not la.
You can always play Clark's version. He did it. Peter Clark did a better version of my 2002 than I did. He actually did better than the new one I did. So you can always play that one.
That was the nod to Glyn.
Nod to Glyn.
Yes.
I think that was my first introduction to Peter Clark. He actually emailed me and told me about him. He'd remixed me, which I thought was unusual because remixing a remixer. So yeah, it's quite special at the time.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, that's very true.
But being an inspiration, such as yourself, why not?
I wouldn't say that.
No, you don't have to. I'm such an inspiration. We say that.
Yeah, God damn it.
Well, here's the thing. I loaded up Peter's version on the right side and your version from 8-Bit Symphony on the left side. Which one I should press play on?
Close your eyes and take a pic.
I don't know how to do that. Maybe Slaygon would be able to point on one because I'm too close.
Okay, I'm going to close my eyes and press a button. We started the song.
Oh yeah, right. He has a button. I almost forgot.
Yeah, this is your version.
Yep.
Is it?
Yeah.
It is.
I can't hear it very well. I just hear like a squelchy.
Yeah. It's a bit quiet, yeah.
Wait.
There you go. Fire
We're back.
Lord.
Rake. Yes.
Everyone back. Situated. Good. Excellent.
If anyone went out or anything.
Mic's open. Good, yes. You can probably hear us now, I hope. Oh, good, yes.
Me? Yeah, I can hear.
Excellent. Good work. We're back now. Hi.
Hello.
Right, so the question that I thought was kind of fitting there, it's from Peter Clark. And he says, Glyn, your remixes are always full of detail and ear candy, in quotes. I don't know why he put ear candy in quotes. It's like, you know, your fake ear candy. When do you tend to get to the ideas for these tasty bits? 1, before you start the track. 2, during the writing and arranging process. Or 3, you make a basic version of the track and then go back in and add all the Christmas decorations to it.
No. My process will be I start from the very beginning. I never work on a piece of music and think that'd be nice for a middle or anything. I don't go into a track thinking of how I'm going to do it. I just don't know what genre I want to do. No, there's no process really. And plenty of times, well, as you know, and a lot of people know, you'll come up with tunes, melodies and ideas, and then you'll spend 3 or 4 hours on them, then you'll scrap them. You know, they're useless, or it's not going the way you thought. The problem I have is that if you work, I did it the other day with one track. I spent the afternoon working on the middle section of a track, sort of where it builds, and I spent that long on it. You're thinking that's the beginning and that's the end, and it sounds great. But then when you go back, it doesn't fit with the beginning. So it's like, that's pointless. It's useless. So I never have a process. I'll write a music, put it down, add to it, and I just see where it goes. I never have a process. I don't know if most people do, but I never do. Sorry, Peter. There's no process.
So, for a question,
I just play and whatever comes to me. If that note fits with that note and it sounds okay, then that'll work.
Yeah. Okay. So, a question from, I guess, what he's trying to ask is, do you put down the basics first and then go in and add these extra tingly bits on there and that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Or like in terms of like a chunk of music, do you, let's say you're working on a middle bit, that little section of music, when you leave that, is that already kind of done with all the extra bits in there, or do you kind of loop back and do extra like sprinkles on top afterwards?
Yeah, I get that now. I'll do a piece if I'm working on a tune that has sections. You can pretty much guarantee that the first part it could stand on its own, it's complete. To an extent. I mean, I'm doing one now which is pretty much finished, but I've done the beginning, a build up, and then the climax, so to speak, at the end. And they all work. And then I'll go back and I'll throw in a riser or a boom or something, a transition to the next piece. I won't do that in the process because I think, okay, that works. It goes into that, but not very well. So I'll go back later and blend them together somehow. But pretty much as I write, if I was doing say the fire load, for instance, and it was in 4 or 5 sections, or even the opus, the first part of the opus track, when I was doing the opus, I moved on to the next melody of the opus. The first part was done. The only worst part is when you're doing so many different parts and different styles is when it comes to mixing and mastering it. Oh, it's a ball ache. You can. I mean, Danko actually I gave him the master files after, and he's done his own master version of it for his own channel. It sounds, as for Danko, he's more pushing for the booms and stuff as standing out. I like to sit them in the background a bit. So the two pretty different versions, but yeah, that's my process. If I'm working, the sections are actually complete, and I'll glue them together later on.
Do you?
If that makes any sense.
Yeah. So he responded, "Oh, so Christmas decorations afterwards as well."
Yeah. Oh, there's always bits you can add. Even when you listen back and it's finished, I think everybody has the same thing. It's like, I could have changed this, I could have changed that. Or that sounds terrible. Or why did I do that? But what the hell?
Well, it sounded good at the time. Or
at the time,
there was. It sounded like a good idea at the time, at least.
Yeah. Yeah. We have loads of those good ideas that never develop into anything.
Yeah.
Do you use any help? Do you have the SID next to the whole track so you can follow the whole structure, or you just listen to
No. Yeah. I used to back in the day. I mean, when we did Firelord, I'd already played it, so I already knew it. It's that kind of but I do use SID play when I'm listening. I mean, when I did Camel Riders, it was hard to pick out the instruments and what the bass line was doing. So I'll separate the channels and render them out as single WAV files and listen to them. That's how I pick the process of the tune, and then you just sort of go off track and do your own thing anyway. But yeah, I do. I mean, that's the way I'll break down a SID tune. But most of the time, I can listen to a piece of music and break it down anyway. It's when you do music as opposed to listening to music, I think you listen to music in a different way. You can hear everything that's going on. As someone who's listening to a piece of music and they'll hear just the melody, as a lot of us who do music, a lot of people in the scene, you'll hear what's going on in the back, you'll hear the bass, you'll hear everything that's going on. And you can individually pick them out. You know, that's the way I hear things anyway.
And do you use any MIDI export help? So you have the notes, or you just plink the notes yourself?
No, I tried that years ago. But I found out that if you mean the SID to MIDI thing, yeah?
Yeah.
I remember trying that, I think it was about 2000, I don't know. I think it was actually 2000, when I was 15 now, when I thought I have to get the notes correct for Firelord because it has to be proper this time. And I tried it thinking, well, I'll try it with the original bass lines and the original accompaniment. But when I converted it to MIDI, you put it and you're done. It's got its own time signature, or it won't line up to the grid. And I thought, I'm not messing around with that, you know. It's easier just to listen and play it.
And then you play on the keyboard, or you just okay.
No, I never correct. I very rarely quantize as well, especially when it comes to orchestral stuff. It sounds electronic. Things you pick up off YouTube.
How well do you play? Can you play a proper, I don't know, piano piece, both hands and all of that? No.
I enjoy things when you watch people do that. I mean, if I took the practice, I probably could, but I don't need to, because when you're working in a DAW, you just need to play a few notes or chord progression and it's done. But I'll watch Tony Warren, is it Ren?
Vivian
Fluke.
Yeah. Yes. Now, I sometimes I'll sit on the laptop in the living room and I'll always throw him up on the TV because he just plays. It's nostalgic. You know, you listen to him or watch him. He just brings out that joy, you know. Yeah. So I'll always throw him on the YouTubes and I put it on and I'll look up and watch, and it's like what he's doing on that one machine as well. You know,
Tyrell,
and his fingers are all over, and I'm like, I couldn't do that.
Plus extra buttons on the way.
He even had some questions for you, like when did you playing music? When did you start playing music, and what instrument did you start playing, if any?
I've never learned any instrument ever. My first instrument, I think, was it's got to be about 1988 or something. I started playing around with a Casio SK5. Was it the first sampling? It had a built-in microphone. You could sample. It had 4 pads where you could sample 4. And I remember sampling the Pet Shop Boys' Rent with that. And I'd link it at the top, and I had a PSR 47, which I thought were dead good because it had full-size keys. I couldn't play very well, but they're my first instruments I had. But it was mainly just for messing around, because it was one of those where you know, bon tempi and everything, you press a button and the whole accompaniment going for you, you know, and you just play along badly. But,
like a bossa nova or whatever.
Bossa nova, that's the one. Bossa nova, not bon tempi. That's my first instrument. And I no, I never. I got them just as a toy. It wasn't. I wasn't interested in making music. It was just fun playing around with them. It was only when I sat down with the PlayStation 1 on Music 2000 that I actually started constructing music together with the samples that they pieced. I thought, it's quite good, this. And then, when I got hold of FL Studio, moved forward. But I've never learned an instrument now. Sorry.
So you never planned to be a musician? You never learned an instrument? You never use any help of notes or loading seats for that matter? And you
want to be a musician?
You have absolutely no idea how to do this.
No.
But this is where we are right now.
I mean, yeah, but the thing is, today you don't need to. I mean, someone will say to me, like, have you tried doing this in a diminished seventh chord or something? Like, what's one of them? I don't have a clue.
Can you buy it in a store?
If someone put sheet music in front of me, I wouldn't know where to start. I actually know that, I think is it the Claire? Is that what you play with your left hand, and the like a C with the two dots is what you play with your? Okay, you don't know either. Anyway, it's irrelevant, isn't it? You don't need it today with the equipment we have. If you've got a good ear and you can hear how things are pieced together, I mean, you listen to the industry music. It's not so great. You listen to people on YouTube and they're phenomenal. You know, they should be working in the industry. What would they call them? Bedroom composer. That's the one, isn't it? Yeah. That's what I am.
I like the visuals of your bedroom. Very nice.
That's not my bedroom.
Well, you said bedroom composer, so...
Oh, okay. I thought you meant we got a slept in here. No, on the floor.
Bolo is asking this. Sorry, Bolo is asking exactly this question. Do you intend to join the Hollywood industry? Why haven't they contacted you? Have they?
No, I mean, it's very nice when people say that. It really is. But you've got, realistically, it's like I was saying to Kenneth the other day, it's again with certain musicians on YouTube, and that they'll demonstrate a library that's come out, or a library that's been out for a while, and they'll play something that's amazing, and you think, well, I've got the same tools, why can't I sound like that, you know? But no, a lot of I listen to other people, you realize you're not really that good, or there's a lot you don't know. I know it's the final product that counts, that's what people listen to, but I don't think I'm good enough to be approached by any big like Hollywood now. But thanks anyway.
Well, we know a couple of people who disagree with you, Danko being one of them, me being one of them.
That's because we're doing all right in our little corner of the world. Right?
Yeah, true. But Bolo also had a very good sort of a follow-up question to that. What kind of plugins do you have? He also threw in the DAW in there, but that's FL Studio covered already. Yeah. But plugin-wise, what are you working with there?
Now everyone wants to buy your plugins and sound like you. So
exactly. So
be careful what you list.
Unfortunately, it don't work like that. I've learned the hard way. No, pretty much every standard. It mainly Contact. I always start with a string ensemble for some reason, but it's mainly Contact. Anything bass-wise, I used to use a lot of Nexus, but I've moved on to June 3. It seems it's got more beef to it. As in plugins, I don't use that many VSTs as such. Everything's pretty much Contact.
So
libraries,
good
and
samples.
then you've got your. I mean, well, not just Contact. I've got Spitfires, and they've got their own engine now.
Yeah, but still sample libriries essentially. Not generative synthesizers and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and it's like with I've got my Metropolis Arc library.
Oh, those are beautiful.
Yeah, but they've got their own engine too. It's not Contact, is it? But to be honest, I'll still throw that library up in Contact. I don't know why. And the thing is, Contact just keeps crashing my system, but I still use it. You know.
As we know, it crashes with FL Studio. So, but somehow
it's terrible. It's terrible. Hell yeah.
Somehow you still make it work. So.
After a long process, yeah.
Oh.
So.
Symphonic became later your trademark. Grisor had this question earlier, but we talked about your last Ninja remix very early on from 2001. There was a glimpse of Symphonic. It wasn't entirely there yet, but later on it became your trademark. Was this always your cup of tea, this exclusively this style, or have you considered
To be totally honest, if I had the choice, I like to do electronic music. It's just I won't do it as a remix for RKO because there's already so many great guys out there doing the same thing. Except for the Ivan. What is it? What are you calling him now?
Alvin.
That guy can do any style, it's like, and it's perfect every time. And like I say, I try and do something different sometimes, try and get out of that niche of being nothing but orchestral all the time. I've tried it with a couple. I mean, I was going to do it with that Gianni Sisters track, but still wound back into throwing in a choir and some cello or something. But no, I never set out to do orchestral because, for one, it's a lot more work than doing anything electronically. But when it comes to try and do something electronic, it doesn't come out very well. As I was saying earlier, I can't throw out what JLD would do. Something thumping, something hard, and boom, boom, boom. I just can't.
Good drive.
I've learned all about the side chaining with ducking the bass for the kick, and all that. But it still doesn't punch, it hasn't got that. So then I'll go back to a violin.
That certainly doesn't punch unless you take the violin and punch someone with it.
Yeah. I have done a fair bit of electronic music, but it's not EDM or anything. It's more dreamy type pads, and I don't know what the genre would be called.
Shatil came here in with a very good question relevant to what you say. Have you considered doing uplifting orchestral trance? That would be right up your alley, skill-wise at least.
Orchestral trance, I suppose. Has that been done before?
Yeah, it has. I actually experimented a little bit with that and tried to do my own kind of take on that.
If I listen to it, probably pull it off if I listen to it. I mean, the thing is, as a lot of people on the remixing scene or musicians here anyway will know, that you can pretty much do any piece of music. It's not hard. It's just getting it right.
Yeah.
So, and luckily I know a good group of people now with being on the Encore projects and everything, that if I get stuck with anything in that genre, I can always ask. Like I said, when I did the Metal Warrior track, I tried using electronic guitars and stuff, and I had access to Romeo Knight. It's like, why the hell didn't I just ask him to play me these guitars? It was me struggling to try and make it sound. And Romeo Knight is a master at it. I could have just messaged him, hey, fancy just play me these few notes, and I'm sure he would,
Yeah.
But you don't think to do that, or you think you're murdering somebody, or they haven't got the time, So
you don't want to be a bother, kind of.
Don't want to be a bother. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
But
Orchestral EDM, that's an idea.
Yeah.
Maybe I should team up with someone to do that.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
Yeah.
Why not?
Maybe Pete. He loves trance, I heard.
Oh, that would be the perfect choice.
Yeah. Anything with a bit on, like, yeah. Pete will be up for that.
Oh, yeah,
definitely. Yeah.
But with what you said a little bit earlier here, you said, well, you just need to get it right. One of the first times you and I met was like 2001 or whatever, the first Bit Live, and in a pub in London, maybe 2002. And I asked you, like, you do these incredible symphonic kind of things. What's your process? How do you do it? His answer was just, oh, I don't know. You just have to listen. Come on, details, man, details.
I know. How do you explain something like that, though?
I don't know. A stupid question, but
no, I mean, not just that. It's like, how do you? I don't think. I mean, you see them on YouTube all the time. How to do this, how to do that, how to sound like Hans Zimmer.
yeah,
Watching that video, you won't sound like Hans Zimmer. You know, you might get a few ideas of how he plays and puts instruments together, but I don't know. You can't. You can teach music, but you can't tell. I don't think how to, if it's not in them, you'll never get it from them. You know, it's the way I see it. Not that I'm a man of knowledge or anything. It's just like I said. If I was asked now to do a country and western theme, I'll just load up a western style library and just start playing. I don't think what I should do, which I don't do, is research. What do they call it when you mix a track and you use reference track? That's the one. I should do, but I don't, because I love. You ever heard of Thomas Bergerson? You know, the Two Steps from Hell.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could get close to sounding like that, I'd be happy.
Yeah, they are such. Even the simplest little thing sounds so big somehow. It's like, how the hell do you get that little fucking sound so big?
Yeah, it's like it's not as if it's mixed as well that you can hear every instrument, and it's full of electric guitars. It's like, how do you throw in a distorted electric guitar over a cello and make it still sound good?
Yeah, magic.
Yeah. You see, I'm not that good. I haven't got a clue.
Nobody does, as you could tell on Sunday. Took me 3 hours straight to get a poor, like piss-ass poor intro and a couple of like blocks of shit in there. It's like, it's not even half baked anything. It's a struggle. And then I realized I actually haven't done any music for like 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
When did you do it? Oh, you did this symphony. Yeah, that would be about 2000. That was during the 8-Bit Symphony, wasn't it? Your album.
Yeah, exactly. So the last one that was released in 2019. So after that, I think I just did 2 tracks. Let's see. Yeah, Synapse and Black Lamp. Oh, Micropose Soccer and Transmission 64 as well. So yeah, but it's been a while, put it that way. So I'm not very productive, so it kind of showed very early on that, a bit rusty here. If there was like a visual for what I was doing there, it would be a very rusty hinge. Like,
yeah, but the ideas come through, don't they? You know, you start with the ideas and you keep some, you get rid of a lot. You gotta start somewhere. I suppose it doesn't help though when you have people watching you.
Yeah. It changes everything, especially when you need to narrate everything at the same time.
I'm doing this because.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of a 2-second thing, it becomes a 2-minute thing.
Should we give a little break for everyone and maybe play a request?
Yes,
Jump
I'm
in
sure everyone
and-
hates our voices by now.
Yeah, been going on a while.
Thanks.
I don't know. There are like several options here. I need to check this one as well because I like that we have one requester who said roses are red, Glyn R brown. That's the name of the requester.
Yep.
So, well, the request was Last Mission by Glyn R brown.
Another old one.
Yeah, right. You see, people still remember, even if you just issued these amazing tracks now. But we will come with those later as well. So, Last Mission.
are back with Glyn R Brown, who is busy calling or something. He's illegitimate children or something. What was the comment Pete had there?
Yes, Pete said, Glyn's reaction to his old remixes is like him finding out he's got illegitimate children all over his home country. Well, he's a postman.
They're so bad, though. They're so, when you listen to them now, we're really scraping the barrel, I think, tonight.
And imagine that some people still love them. Like,
yeah, I guess. That's nice. It's nice, though. People still like them.
Oh, it's nice. You kind of get a measuring stick of how far have you come from back in those days to now. So that's nice.
I haven't come much further. It's just the quality of the samples have gotten better. That's all it is.
That's all. So what you're saying is that if your music sounds like shit, get a better sample library.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I was saying before. You see a lot of newcomers or people on Remix Quad, they'll get a yellow or whatever voting. But if you listen to the structures of the music, it's there.
Yeah.
It's just let down by the quality of the sounds. But you've got to remember that if you give them the equipment that most of us have, they'll sound phenomenal, you know. And it's a shame that you could scare a lot of them off before they get a chance to get going. I mean, a lot of people are limited. We've got to remember that. But you listen to it, it might sound a bit off because of the sound or the quality of the samples, but you can hear the structure, and it's a damn good musician behind there, you know.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely.
I think we asked partially this question, but we can get back to it if it's FS asked that if it's not personal. You gave yourself a break between 2006 and 2018. Did you also run out of motivation and creativity in 2006 and 2018, or what was the reason? I mean, you said you got busy with other stuff, right? But
yeah, I mean, well, first off was kids. I mean, my son arrived then, you know, so all my time was put into him. And with growing up, you know, with a child, then you obviously getting more into your consoles and video gaming for, you know, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, on and on. But yeah, I never had any inspiration at all to do any music at all.
No.
Not
And
at all.
which
I had
games?
to actually get in contact with the Image Line because luckily I was still on the development side of the process. That I'd lost all my keys, serials, whatever. I didn't even know how to get my DAW back. And that's when I found out they'd moved on to FL Studio from Fruity Loops, you know. So I think I grabbed that in about 2010. I had a quick look around it, but I never produced anything, or it just wasn't there. You know, you get that. I don't know. You get it now, even. You know, I do a piece of music and then you just won't touch it for 3 or 4 weeks because it's like you're out of gas or you're burnt out.
Yeah.
Or there's a new Netflix show that's really good. You know, so you just don't want to do music.
Or you just get sidetracked with whatever it might be, and then you realize, oh yeah, I was doing something down in the studio or whatever.
I mean, I get a lot of time now because my lad's in university, but I also, at the back of my head, I'm doing music. I'm sat here doing it. And then you've got to remember that Gail's sat downstairs, and are you neglecting them? You've got to try and balance it out, you know. It's hard. It's hard. Like I said, if it was my day job and I was getting paid good money for it, then fair enough. But no, you've got to balance things out. It's the same now. I don't, unless I'm asked to do something specifically. I hope Andreas isn't watching this. He's been waiting for a while. But unless you're asked something
specifically.
Then I'll sit down and get on with it. But other than that, I'll just jump on if and when, that type of attitude.
Yeah. Speaking of free time and whatnot, have you ever considered releasing a SID? Asks Shargo here.
Ugh, I wouldn't know where to start.
You do know which SID chip, specific SID chip you would want to do that on, your favorite SID chip, right?
Is that the 6581?
Yeah. Which revision is your favorite? Do you have a favorite revision out of the 4 revisions that we have? Do you have a favorite
6,
among them?
Like that. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Come on, Ian,
You did it on purpose.
we rehearsed this on Tuesday. Come on, man, you even wrote it down in your little pad.
No, I got my pad.
Yeah, the other pad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's music notes.
Didn't you write it down on Tuesday?
I remember. I was just saying that the Bread Bin Commodore 64. When I used to listen to the music of the games then, and I got the new one later, the bass and that was watered out, or it had a different sound, and that's when you were saying to me, there's an 8. What's the other one? 6.
8580.
That's the one, and that's in the newer ones, which I don't rate. But can you switch when you? I mean, when I play that SID play machine thing, it plays them all fine. Can you switch between the two on there?
On SID Play, yeah, you can, but on a real 64, it's a bit trickier. Then you need to install this hardware module where you have 2 chips in there.
Right. So how would I compose a SID? What do you use?
I would say don't do that on a Commodore 64. Use something like Goat Tracker or something. That has a native UI, or SID. What's it called? SID Factory 2 by JCH and Drax or Vibrant or whatever.
Yeah.
But like a Windows piece of software that you compose in.
But you can
I
also
have
use emulator.
SID libraries and on the Nexus and stuff. So can I fake it by only using three tracks and writing something that way?
Unfortunately, those won't play on the 64.
Can you convert it to SID? No.
No, unfortunately,
that's the thing. Can you convert MIDI to SID? No.
You can play SID notes or notes on the SID chip using MIDI with some extra bits and pieces on there. There are cartridges you can plug in that can receive MIDI signals.
You can't just do it with software then on the piece,
No, you have to get some sort of data input from a MIDI keyboard or whatever. So there are MIDI cartridges.
Because if you could put your music into it and see how it would sound as a SID file, that'd be
that's totally doable.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's totally doable. We'll find a cartridge for you. Pete says, "It's a trap, Glyn. Don't answer." I think that was. I think that was in regard to which revision and which SID chip was your favorite. But we did, in my defense, we did rehearse that on Tuesday. So.
So 6581 is it?
Yeah, and revision 3 to make Danko happy.
Yeah. But if I knew how to do it, I would love to do a SID tune. Yeah. That's the answer I would give. Yeah. If I had the knowledge to do it.
Yeah, I think if you want some kind of fresh insight into, from a musician's perspective who hadn't done any SID-related stuff at all, but now does SID tracks as well, you could talk to JLD, because he recently even joined a 64 group, the Finnish Gold. So he's actually doing SID tracks now with Rock.
But he did SID tunes before, though, didn't he? Before
did he? JLD?
I think
maybe he did.
Might, might have.
But that was way back when, anyway. So this would be new stuff.
More modern.
Yeah.
And anyway,
that's very true.
How hard it could be for you? It's free channels that's making everything easier, right? You don't need to take care of so many. And essentially the rest of the challenges is how you create the sounds and how you manipulate them. That's it. Because everything is generated, so you just need to find the right combos or load instruments what others did. So I guess this is all the difficulty in making a SID.
Yeah, and I just checked. I can't believe I forgot. But anyway, JLD was active in 1990 to 92. He released some 30 SID tracks or whatever, and then he released 2 tracks in 2023, I think.
Wow.
So yeah.
And are they as boppy as his tunes today?
We can have a listen on. This is called X SID. Where is the volume? Does it even play? Why isn't it playing? Oh, some of these don't work proper. Oh, wait. Here's a comeback tune instead. Bit boppy.
Yeah.
I can see he started to think on it.
Yeah, and so on and so forth. But very, very nice.
And that's from the 90s?
No, this one is from 2023. Is
oh, okay, I thought it was a bit.
Yeah.
I wonder how come he's never remixed himself. Oh, has he?
He has, yeah.
Has he?
With
Okay.
his new tracks.
I know his tracks, but I don't know what.
Yeah,
I never look at the full description, so I don't know if he'd done himself or
Yeah,
done himself. That doesn't sound right, does it?
No,
Sorry.
he remixes the new ones. He has a new one coming out now that he's doing together with Rock of Finnish Gold,
Okay.
and he already has a remix of it. So
Right. Oh.
yeah,
Something to think of.
yeah.
Also, you mentioned video games, and Fluke had another question for you regarding that. What was your first experience in video games, and were you into music right away, or were you just a regular gamer? So, did video games inspire you to make music?
No, I think my first inspiration for music would be with Jeff Wayne's The War of the Worlds and Jean-Michel Jarre. I remember standing at the fireplace pretending I was playing my music, I don't have a clue what to do at the time. But no, with video games, I like video games, but again, even not so much today because they don't have any, but I was more for the music. I remember having Bionic Commando, the remake, on the PS3, but I'd leave the intro screen on because it had a remix of the original Bionic Commando tune. So... And the PC, I think it was they were like old RPG games, but every single one of them had a great score to them. And I'd buy the game because sometimes in the hidden files you could get the whole audio. So it was like getting the game to get the soundtrack to the game. Mm-hmm. But I've never really been a gamer as such. I was back in the PlayStation 1 days. And Mega Drive days. Again, though, that was because you used to hook up a cassette player just to the headphone jack and record the music because you had menus with that and the SNES where you could listen to the tracks from the game,
Right.
as opposed to playing the game.
Yeah.
Well, the games were too hard anyway back then.
Kind of like
but now, I've never been inspired by video game music. It was before then. Mainly film music. Jerry Goldsmith and obviously John Williams. But yeah, the thing is, some video games have got great soundtracks, or did have. Today, you don't even notice it anymore. It's just a drone, you know. We need a menu music. It's like a drone from Omnisphere. There you go. Job done.
Well, you have to pay off the license for Omnisphere somehow. It's like £600 or something.
Do you have any favorite song besides the latest? Also Fluk's question.
Who was that, sorry?
Do you have a favorite song besides the latest? And I'm not really sure what he means by that.
I guess the question is, which one of your own tracks is your favorite, apart from the latest one you did?
Yeah, exactly, because that's what usually people answer. Like the latest what I did is the best. Yeah.
As in remixing, like Opus. Well, as Barry's told me, he thinks I've peaked now. I can't beat Opus, so I've gone to the top of my musical abilities, and now it's time to come down again. I haven't. Yeah, I don't know. Opus, I can't even remember much of it now. I mean, the thing is, as every one of us musicians know, you hear that track 1,000 times while doing it, and when it's done, you're glad to see the back of it. And when someone plays it, you're like, oh God, I have to listen to that again. But I'm doing that new, what was it? Tra La La, that one I was telling you about. And with that, I got some new percussion libraries, so I always like to do something and try out something new and see if they're strong enough. But yeah, whether I like it better than the last one, sometimes I like to think you're getting a bit better, especially in the mixing and mastering side of things. But musically, no. Like I was saying, when I did Firelord and Gordian's, especially Gordian's Tune back in the day, I was writing notes and progressions back then that I can't even do now. I wish I could. I think because we've gotten, you're more lazy now because a lot of the stuff you can take care of. Yeah. Well, I've never done that. There's actually libraries, isn't there, out there where you get like string libraries where you can press a chord and it'll play a riff for you, or a sonato or something.
Strumming.
I can never work with them. Yeah.
Because the Western thingy from Fluffy Audio has you can play a chord and it would do the strumming for you. Right.
Okay. The only problem with them is, though, it's okay if you're doing it for 2 or 3 bars. Well, not even that many, because it becomes repetitive.
Yeah.
So when you have these string runs, it's okay for a passage they do while you play over the top. But and then you press a different chord with them, and they'll play the same riff, so to speak. It's just a different. It's repetitive. I think it's nice to take ideas from him. I mean, Nexus does the same thing. I've got orchestral packages with Nexus, and they have a lot of accompaniment stuff. And you think, oh, that sounds good, and you can solo them out each channel, and you'll hear like a bass. The drums are a bit heavy, but that string sounds nice, and you can separate them.
Yeah,
I'll learn from things like that, but never use them. I'll just recreate them or work my way around them somehow. But yeah. But anyway, no, I think with the my last one, Opus, was an experiment. I think I always tend to like newer tracks because it's fresh, it's new. I never go back on anything old.
Do you have a favorite of yours that you've done, or is it like the latest? Opus is my favorite now because I just done it.
Opus is not. It's a great. I mean, well, it isn't my work. It's Danko's, and to think what he did as a child, basically, it's just shows how well he is with music. Yeah.
But you barely did anything on that one.
No, I just copied the man. No. My favourites. I like my what I'm proud of is I like my little deactivators track because I like the way I work the choirs with that. It's sort of uplifting in this pleasant way. But I think my favourite has to be Gianna Sisters. But if we're going old, Gordian's Tomb is my old-time fave, and I always like to recreate that one. But it's like, do I touch something that I like so much? Can I make it better or not? I mean, I'll make it better because the sound quality, but the structure might be as appealing. You know, it might be a bit boring or dull, or I might visit it one day. Just end up remixing all my old remixes.
Full circle.
Yeah. I'm on from the Rastan Times of Law and Firelord, so
yeah. Well, you do have something new cooking, so maybe we could play your little work in progress here.
If you like.
Yeah.
Get slammed by everyone.
Yeah, it's called Tralala from some Hungarian dude that I forgot the name of. Do you have the details on that?
It's an unusual SID file, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very unusual.
Well, I thought, can I get away with this? Because it's all the SID plays is the background, you know, like the riff. And then the bass comes in. Yeah. There's no structure as such. Yeah. I thought whether I upload it to RKO, whether Qued would be like, nah, that's just like, it's not a SID remake, that it's a complete track on its own. I thought he might miss it. I might try it on there, see what he says.
Yeah, I think so. Let's have a listen. It's fairly short, work in progress. Still needs some polish according to Glyn. I heard
the what do you call it? The Christmas lights.
Yeah, exactly. The ornaments and whatnot. The what's it called? The tinfoil thingies and whatnot. Not the hats. Leave those outside. but the rest. Tinsel foil. It's called. Yes, tinsel foil. I think it's called. But yeah, here is Tralala.
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 Well,
there we go. Yeah.
Not bad.
And
I haven't escaped the orchestra yet, have I?
And that's based on a very short SID that goes something like this. Yeah, sorry, it's full volume.
Nice. Harsona Zsolt Harsona. Just so you know, the original composer. It feels to me that he used also some older melodies that were like, it's detectable with some older typical like partially folk, partially like a little bit like old dance band music, but Hungarian. You know, like that also works kind of. I don't know how to explain dance band like in English, because that's a bit of a,
I don't know how to explain that.
You know,
either.
wedding type of music, when they like to dance to it and it's super melodic and it's super, like some folk music elements are flaring it up and that type of thing. So
more like Eurovision Song Contest type, the old type.
Those two as well. Like very, very pop hitty, very melodic, like very hooky, very, it stays with you, basically. If you hear the hooks once or twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and anyway, it's...
Okay.
Yeah, no, that was for your information type of thing. So yeah, this little Sid was released in a demo also in 93, but it was made in 92.
Yeah.
92.
I just thought it had a nice little riff to it. The idea was to start off, because it's got like a classical Beethoven-y type, but then I came up with the first part of it, and then I just thought I'd just throw a load of crap on it and just make it big. It's what happens, isn't it? You have an idea and you just go, I'm going for that, then you just sort of drift off and do something different. Yeah. It's nice when you can do that instead of following a line that someone has asked. You know, you can work on a whole piece of music and then you get a producer or something saying, no, that's crap, we want this, we want that, and it's like, is it worth it? You know, being told that's okay, but can you take the guitar out? And yeah,
well, it's the whole bass.
So it's nice. It's nice just to be able to do what you want, you know, with the track.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. But also, Gildan has a question. Is it true you wrote a theme tune for an Australian drama quiz show? And if so, how did that come about?
I've done a few Australian. A friend of mine, David Ratzuid, I think he's Swedish. He was at the time he was a university student in, I think it was Australia or New Zealand. One of them. He started off with a short film called it was One Scary Night. Then it was changed to One Stormy Night or something. A little girl being attacked. Well, doesn't sound very good, does it? Being attacked by the closet monster type thing. And it was just a short movie. So David asked me because it was his friend to do that. But the game show was, it was part of the production through somebody David knew, I don't know. It was, I did the theme tune, the in-between jingles, you know, the question, ba-da-da-da-da, that type of thing. It's all done on a Korg Triton as well. Or like what Tony Flute retro gaming thing does on the machine where it does everything. You know, it was like the Triton was like that in a way. But yeah, I wrote that. But that led on to, funnily enough, to what I'm working on now. I've been friends with him for years. We did The Vanish together. That was another short movie with the guy from Space 1999. He was in Lost as well. Tom Tate, was it? Which led on to some Star Wars fan films, and then onto other things. And now, through the same guy in Australia, he's involved in his own company and that, and I'm writing music for meditation apps. Which again is just a few chords from Omnisphere, you know. I have a little wind or a little bird cheep Easy stuff.
And that's going
As
on
you-
for 1 hour.
Well, I was talking to Barry Leach the other day because he's working on a similar project, and he was saying, how do I approach doing this meditation thing? Because he's working on a game right now. I don't know if I can say this, but he never said the name of the game, so anyway, but he's I think he was interested in what I was doing towards that, because I think he's stuck with the developers of the game of where to go with this music. And he asked what I did, and I sent him this clip. I think it was only 2-3 minutes long, and I was just messing around. He said, can you come up with some ideas? So I just put something together, sent it to him, and then it was just a mock-up. And he says, can you loop it for 30 minutes? But really? I said, no, I won't do that. I'll play you something original, but at least now I know the direction that you're looking for. But for him to say, we'll just loop it for 30 minutes, But Barry, and he sent me what he was doing. It's completely different. I think he thought I was doing similar to what he was, but he wasn't. His was a nice melodic piano type piece, and well, it was Barry Leach, so it sounded great, But and like I said, that's run by David. He messaged me a few weeks back with this, so we've been good friends for a while. I mean, he's in. I think he's back in Sweden now. I think, but yeah, that's been going on for almost 20 years. He keeps getting me little projects here and there because he's in. It's who you know. It's hard for a lot of people. You put your music out, let's say on YouTube or anywhere, and hopefully someone messages say, "Hey, I'm working on a fan film. Can we use your music?" Or you just say to them, "Well, I'll score it for you," and then it's credits, and you get your name on there. But yeah, that's hard work trying to get forward that way. It is obviously who you know. Like I said, my Halo reach on Spotify and the likes did well because one YouTuber used it on his video, and he has like almost 1 million followers. So there's your ticket to people listening to your music. It's hard. Like I said, I wish I kept at it back in 2005. I was getting a few offers with Wing Commander Saga and things, but I just wasn't into it. I did the tunes, but didn't pursue it. But like I was saying with Kenneth the other day, if I could pursue a music career, it wouldn't be composing. I'd love to be a mix and master engineer. I'd love to sit there and mix and mess with people's music. Yeah, that'd be my ambition. Yeah, not composer.
So, yeah, you do the work. I'll just tinker with it.
yeah. I mean, like I said, if I can go back to being 26 and that again, I would push to try and get work in there so I can have a job from home, and just write music. But I think I'm a bit late in the game now. And like I said, you've always got a nice platform with Remix 64 and the likes of yourselves because people will still hear your music, so it's being listened to.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Whether Omaraka or anyone doesn't like it, then it still listens to it, doesn't he?
And as long as you enjoy what you do, that's the most important.
Exactly. It's all fun. And like I said, you win awards at these things. Yeah, it took a while, but I mean, everybody deserves the awards because we all, they put out listening. People who don't do the music and love these old games, they listen to this top quality music and it's like, oh, I remember that game. It's like me, I always love Thrust and the likes Last V8, and I'll still listen to Kent Walden's Last V8 remix. I'll never attempt it myself. I just prefer listening to other people's because I'm nostalgic with those tunes.
Yeah.
I mean, the best one I always like is Overlander. I had the structure, I did it synthesized one time, it didn't work. I think that's Sid's design for guitars. I'm not trying that. At all.
But I've never even heard of that, so I had to look it up.
Haven't you? Overlander, was it?
It's a thing. The car game from Elite, apparently.
Yeah.
From 1988.
Yeah. It has 2 tracks. Again, it's one of those games you just bought to leave your system running to listen to it. It had 2 tracks, and they're both good.
Yeah, Mark Cooksey. So, yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Nice. Have to have a listen to that later on.
Yeah, that
Very
would be
nice.
lovely to hear. But what I wanted to say, you also listen to other people's old remixes because of nostalgic
Oh, yeah.
reasons.
Yeah, I
Now
suppose
you
you're right.
understand.
I still listen to a lot of older. I haven't actually done anything new, but I listen to a lot of Mackie's old
yeah.
work, Death Wish 3, and then it starts off with "What do you wish for? Wish he was dead." It's like
Brilliant. And
I
Mackie
love all
too,
them
by
old
the way,
ones.
can do pretty much any style he wants. There's
He has
so
his
much
own-
variation.
Yeah, he's got his own little corner of the mixing scene.
Yeah.
Mackie, he's like he's in
Definitely.
a world of his own. Yeah. When you hear a mix, you know who it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when I played the earliest work in progress of the Tralala track that you sent over.
Oh, yeah.
I think we were sitting here and I played it. He said, "Oh, that's Glyn, right?" And I'm like, "How do you know that?"
Exactly, you see.
Sounds like Glyn.
That's what I have to try and escape from. I mean, didn't you have the same thing with Danko when he said that someone's orchestrated his opus and you said, "Oh, is it Glyn?"
Yeah.
And you didn't know at the time.
No, I hadn't even heard it. But
Right.
he talked it up so much that it was like, oh yeah, it has to be Glyn. Can't be anyone else.
Oh. You see, that's what I want to try and get out of that. What do you call it? A niche, is it? A niche?
Yeah. Neat.
Niche?
Snitch.
Try and venture
Niche.
somewhere else. I don't know where though.
He's playing around a little
JLD
bit.
stuff. Boom, 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 with the guitarist, eh? With Romeo Knight on guitars.
Yeah. Yeah, I've tried
Yeah.
varying my style a little bit, but I don't know how successful that is, especially considering the Aroc remix competition. There was this section like most identifiable remixer or something like that. I think I came in second or whatever on that list.
Mordy
Like-
was probably the first. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was Mordy.
Yeah, I think it was Mordy and then me. Like, okay, yeah, I get
Yeah,
it.
with
hard
Morty,
to
you
get
can, you
away.
can tell him Morty, can't you?
Yeah,
He does them slides and that no one else can,
Yeah.
can do.
Yep.
You know?
Definitely. I think it's hard for almost everyone to get away from what we got used to.
yeah.
It just always ties back. Like you start to use another tool that you haven't used before, and yet it will sound the same after a while because you get back to the same.
Yeah.
Well, you do have your preferences. Like, oh yeah, I like that little twingy blippy blop thing here.
Yep.
So yeah.
I like this question though. So, if you were an ant and came across a massive pizza that had every single topping on in the whole world, what topping would you put on your back and carry away from that pizza to take back to your mouth?
Pizza.
Pizza. What pizza you prefer?
Pepperoni. Actually, I do like the pineapple. A lot of people turn their nose up with that, but I like the ham and pineapple.
Yeah.
But I think for the taste, you get more from pepperoni. Just the bog standard.
Yeah.
I never really have pizza, so I wouldn't know.
Like salami and pineapple. That's a really good combo.
All right, okay.
Never tried that one.
I've only
though.
ever seen, because I get them small ones. You can throw in the microwave for a quick
Oh,
fix. You get like 2 in a pack, and they're always ham and pineapple and pepperoni.
Yeah.
Pepperoni?
Pepperoni, I think they're called. Pepperoni pizza, yeah, that's essentially salami pizza,
I just call it
guess.
salami pizza.
Yeah.
So
So,
yeah, exactly. So, and then of course FS is wondering, if I'm correct, you made several remixes with 64 songs, but only one Amiga remix? Why did you focus on C64 for remixing so much?
I only did Amiga because I was asked.
We know.
We did the Encore 64 album, and then the idea for, well, Peter and I think it was just Peter alone, he went ahead with the Amiga 500. It could be Danko as well. I think they both came up with this. Yeah, he asked me to come on board, obviously, but I was an Atari ST guy, you see. I know the music was probably similar, but I just picked something that I thought, okay, I'll do it. I'll pick something simple. And I found that Leander, and it was about the third tune I'd listened to when I just put Amiga tunes on YouTube and just found something. And that came on. I thought it's got a nice structure to it, and it's quite simple. I thought I'd do that. It's the same. I don't know if I can mention, but the same team, Peter and his crew, have got new ideas going forward. And I was listening to Tony again, Warren Fluke, and he did a cover. I was just messing on my computer and I heard him play this Hero Quest. And just the first few notes were like, that's a nice tune. Mm-hmm. So, and then I found out it was Barry Leach, so I thought, right. So I got Barry saying, if we go ahead with whatever ventures forward, then my next task will be Barry Leach. Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm supposed to mention that yet. I'm going to get a slap on the wrist now. Pete's going to go and beat me up. Sorry, Pete. It just sort of fell in with the Amiga side of things, because again, this Barry Leach tune's an Amiga tune. He's done it on other platforms, but I think what Tony played, is it Tony? Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Flute, you call him, don't you?
Tony Virian.
Yeah.
Very okay. But yeah, what he was playing, it just stuck with me straight away, and I thought, that's a nice tune, that. And I looked, and like I said, it was just more better when I saw it was Barry Leach. I thought, right. Yeah. Like I was saying, it was the same process with the Amiga, the Leander. I just put in, I know they are tunes similar to the Commodore 64 and the likes on Amiga, aren't they? Or do they change them up a little bit?
Don't know.
I think, yeah, because if you listen to the Last Ninja on Commodore 64, are they different on the Amiga?
I presume they did something entirely different on the Amiga, because
I like the Commodore 64. I don't know. I mean, the Amiga's probably got some great tunes. I've never listened to many. My first choice for the Encore 500 was actually Freedom of Turrican 2. I like that. I started work on that. It was coming on quite nice. But then I heard an orchestral rendition of a Chris Hulsbeck concert on YouTube of the same track, and I thought, it's already been done. Amazing, it's like, how do you... And I thought, it's going to be a lot of work, so I thought, I'll just do something that's synthesized, it's more simple. So I did Leander. And I never liked it. I told Danko, I says, look, take me off the project. I said, you got all the other guys, Yogi and Firefox and all these top men. You don't need anything from me, because it sounded awful. I thought I just couldn't find any structure, put any body in there. And I told Danko, I says, look, I says, sorry, but I don't mind if you more or less trash it. But Danko, with his magic again, he'd say, send me the stems and we'll see what I do with it. And he pulls out, oh, okay, doesn't sound so bad after all. But that again is one of those that you wish I could pull back now and rework it, because there's things he could have done with it. But I mean, to be honest, my heart wasn't in it at the time. I held my hands up. I wasn't fully focused. I was on other things, and it was getting close to the deadline. So it's one of those that you just throw shit together, to see what comes out, see what sticks.
How hard or easy is it for you to release something like okay, now it's done, like now you really need to get rid of it, or is it? I
don't release a good over half of what I've got. Akuchi, I've got a load of Commodore 64 remixes that I've never even uploaded. Probably never will. I mean, this one that kind of played tonight, it's one I'm working on, but then it's a case of, do I finish it and send it? Like I said, I've been working on my own Last Ninja album for a while, which is just a personal project, as if I'm scoring the Last Ninja movie, So, yeah, those kind of a lot of things I don't upload. it just depends. I only upload like when, let's say when I got back in the scene, did the Chris Abbott Symphony thing, and then I was told that Remix 64 was coming up for its 20 years anniversary, so could I come up with a little jingle to take part with being there close to the beginning, you know? So that's when I did my deactivators or delaminators or whatever that Barry likes to call it. Tomsk. See, now Tomsk is the perfect one. If I'm stuck with a track and I think, is it okay? I'll send it to him, and if it's shit, he'll say, yeah, that's shit. he'll tell me. I mean, my Cyberdyne Warrior was going okay, and because you hear the track too much, I had the Baba Bar woman at the beginning, and she went on for a long time, but I didn't realise it. And then when Barry heard it, he went, it just goes on for too long. And he's right. That's why you need these extra set of ears, especially from people in musicians, you know. I mean, like, I'm lucky now that I don't get involved as much as I should, but I know a good bunch of musicians now with the Encore team. If ever I get stuck about any kind of mixing, mastering, any software glitches, anything, that these guys, someone in that team knows, you know. It's
that's pretty cool.
good little bunch.
But then there are those, like, many pieces in your drawer that you never plan to kind of release ever. And are they also like in a ready state that you would call ready,
Pretty
or
much.
are they half ready?
Yeah, they're just not. They haven't got the Christmas lights or silver tinfoil. They need that doing to it. I suppose I could have a big throw out to all the remixes out there. Here, finish that off, finish that off. But, you know, yeah, some of them, pretty much a lot finished. But I feel as though I don't know if it's because I've heard them so much while doing them. I think they're not really that good. But other people might like them. I don't know. Don't know.
Never know until you release them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I guess. I just surprise everyone day and just release like 25 remixes.
yeah, exactly. And then it will be also the Glyn R Brown Awards.
Yeah. I'm gonna be like that with Ivan and that Tony Flute. You only did 24 of it. It was 30 of them.
Yeah, measly 24 tracks.
And if you're tactical enough, you release one every second week, so you will have them all throughout.
Guys are machines. They really are machines.
Yeah.
And they can throw tunes out.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
But then in general, those that you released, like how hard it is to finish, like how do you feel? Like you can let them go at some point? Like you feel that this is the point I need to let them go, or?
Yeah, I mean, when I do a tune, it could be let go probably weeks before, but I'm one of them clingers, you know. I mean, Danko used to always rip into me for this. It's like, you gotta let your babies go, you know. It's like, we're reaching the deadline. Come on, give me your tracks. And I'm like, I just need to tweak something. It doesn't sound right.
Yeah, there's a bell at the 4-minute mark that I need to tune a little bit. It says ding, but I wanted to say ding.
That's me all over. You know, I listen to it. It's like, no, not yet. And you're like, I could just tweak that a little bit. And you've got a good 70% of the time you tweak it that much that you completely ruin it. You end up going back to what you did 3 months ago, you know?
Never done that.
Yeah, tweaking too much is never good. But I'm a sod for it, you know? I do it all the time. And I think that's a lot of my, why I take so long on certain... If I'm asked to do... Like with the Encore projects, I know I'm not pressured and there's not really a timeline, so I get lazy, you know. As like I said with David asking the first meditation stuff, if he said he needed 3 tracks by, I don't know, Saturday, then I'd get them done. It depends, you know. Depends. When you get given too much leeway, you sort of get too relaxed and just take your time, and then it gets close to deadline, you're like, oh. And it's like, no, it doesn't sound right. I mean, it's okay, but in your mind, you're still, no. I don't like how that sounds.
Sounds like you, Pete, and Danko had a lot of discussions, probably before the
We didn't have too many. Thing is with Danko, he's a gentleman, you know, he's never forceful, but he's a man of knowledge. Like I said, at my Opus thing, it's been great to get to know Danko over the last couple of years. Great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah. What was it? I had a question in my head. I completely lost it. Jeez.
Sorry, my fault, probably.
No, it was a fairly recent one and not your fault at all. No, it's just my scatterbrain here. It kind of went off on a tangent while I was thinking about the question, and then it went completely bonkers. Wrong way around.
And Pete added, okay, I will make a note of that on this new project, Glyn.
Oh yeah, and Pete also said that tell Glyn he can mention that we're just starting work on the third encore.
Oh, right, okay. Right,
not
encore.
A secret.
You got Encore 64 Volume 2 and Encore 500 Volume 2. Coming soon. How's that?
So no Atari?
Well, coming soon, we're probably talking about a year from now, especially if I'm part of it.
But then no Atari.
No Atari. Oh,
No.
I was hoping for Atari. That was what me and Danko, when we was finished Encore 500, we were thinking, where can we go next? And it was Danko who came up with the Atari ST, and I loved that idea because, like I said, I'd love to do Star Glider 2. But I've only just found out recently that came out on the Amiga as well, so I can still do that. I might. I don't know.
Okay, but
You
then
can't
it's
beat
already
Pete.
set, I guess. So no more discussions about what platforms. Or still there are discussions.
And there was,
Well, I think you go into the arcade side of things, you need you start getting into the royalties of things if you go into the arcades. You're hitting bigger labels, aren't you? So I think with the Amiga you can do quite well because the majority of those guys are on the Encore team, so
True.
yeah.
They would know.
Like I said,
even.
I've opted to do Barry Leach, and as soon as I mentioned that, he sent me. It's like you're in a group of people, and because I chose to do him, he sent me a bump. It's like giving you a folder of information on the Hero Quest tune that he did back in the day. So it's great just to get a bit of back knowledge and listening to the tunes. He sent me a bunch of remixes too, and again, though, you listen to them, you think, well, why am I doing that? These remixes are amazing. I said that to Barry. He says, well, just take it somewhere different. So, yeah, I suppose.
I suppose.
Violins again.
That's different.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's amazing. You make everything sound so easy. Like, it's just so easy. I suppose we will do that.
Yeah, try that, see how
Best
that
part is,
sounds.
the tune's been done for you, hasn't it? So it's not like scratching your head thinking, what idea can I put there? It's like the melody and everything, the structure's already there, so yeah. And once the structure's there, off you go. You know, it's quite simple. Build around it and
there you
never
go.
let it go.
All aspiring remixers out there, just get the structure then, and
There you go.
Yeah, you can just,
It's
bake
just
them
so
ready.
effortless, like incredible. Sounds like you're always on the flow. It's yeah, we are so envious.
Now, you make me sound big-headed now. I imagine it's the same for a lot. I mean, God, if it takes me, what about say with Tony and Alvin, Summerston, is it some?
Summerston,
I mean, yeah. He's the guy you should be talking to about this. You can ask him for a tune, and you'll get it the next day,
Probably,
fully
yeah.
mastered, mixed, and it'll sound
It
like
almost
stereo
feels,
quality.
yeah,
you
it
know?
almost feels like if you ask him for a tune, he probably already has a work in progress of it, and he can give you a full track within 5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, the qualities, say it's not like he's just throwing them out. It's like
No.
each one
Yeah.
is a production. It's top class. you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
it's-
they are really, really good.
yeah. So I don't know his process. Maybe you should get him on. I'd like to pick his brains.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we will definitely. We have that in the plans. So
Yep.
we haven't discussed it with him yet. So Eivind,
Prepare.
Yeah, get your microphone hot. We're coming in.
We're coming for you.
Well, I actually thought he'd pick this year's awards. Well, for last year, definitely. That's who my vote was on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. It was out of my hands, but yeah.
I wonder if he's around. I wonder if he's around or he will listen to this later, but
He probably will listen in. I think he wrote something a bit earlier in the channel, so I think he's listening somewhere, sometimes, a little bit maybe. So maybe he'll rewind and re-listen to the whole bit. Otherwise, it's going to be a very big surprise when we just randomly call him up and say, "Oh, you're on air now. Hi."
Oh, we should do that concept at some point. I think they would be so happy about us anyway. We talked about it earlier. What track of yours would you prefer if not Opus? And you also said or mentioned Ziona Sisters Arok, right? That was your pick as well.
Yeah. I think the ones I most enjoyed doing.
Okay.
I just bought the percussion in that. I just bought that from, what was he called? I can't remember his name, but he made a library for Spitfire Audio. He did the Saw movies. Can't think of his name. And I just bought that library and I thought, I'll try out the percussions, and they're nice and soft, but can be hard at the same time.
Junkie XL?
No, I can't think of his name. But he brought his own library out. I mean, to be honest, that's the only time I've used it. It's the same with everyone, isn't it? You know, these libraries come out, you use them, and then you don't see them again. Then you remember, oh, hang on, I've got that library somewhere. You watch on YouTube, you think, I've got that.
Yeah. Why am I not using it?
Well,
you have far too many tools. They're spoilt for choice, aren't we? It's just too much. I prefer the simple, like Tony switches on his keyboard and everything's there. You know, it's just away you go. He's got to program it and everything, of course, and put his own little bits in. But you know, I think he uses a PC too. I've seen him putting with his last Ninja 3. He was putting into a DAW. So whether he records audio from, I'm not sure the process, but I think he uses both.
I'm not entirely sure about that either, but he played on stage on Last Bit Live, by the way, at some point, Bit Live maybe.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. So next year or this year, later this year, you can join as well. That would be lovely.
Yep.
You'll catch me on playing live. Well, yeah, I never got a little piano piece there.
A boat. It's pretty close from the UK with a boat. It's fine.
Where is it?
Bergen in Norway. On the west coast of Norway.
All right. Yeah,
beautiful city to visit.
Yeah.
Nice for sightseeing. Just in case you wonder. So, and yeah, I guess before we come back for the last time, then we should just show off Ziona Sisters, because you enjoyed to do it so much, and that's really great piece of information about it, because you know, I just like those tiny details. So we will be back after like 3.5 minutes for a last discussion, I guess.
You get
good. I need to pee anyway.
Yeah, we are releasing you now.
No, he will release himself.
Brilliant, yeah.
Foodly doom. Boom.
Really? Fiddly doom?
Yeah, of course. Why not? Why didn't you put a fiddly doom in there?
Well, let's ask him.
Is there a fiddly doom?
A fiddly, a drum like fiddly doom at the end.
Oh.
Yeah. Every track
It's a
needs a
good
fiddly
percussion
doom.
library, though, isn't it? It's a good percussion library.
Yeah.
I can't
Did
think of
you
his
remember
name.
which one it was?
No. I could try and find out. No.
Was it Spitfire?
It was Spitfire. Look for the composer of the Saw movies, and it was him. It runs their own engine.
Yeah, I haven't kept up with Spitfire stuff in a while. I have a bunch of their earlier libraries, at least.
Yeah, they're okay. Heaviosity, I think, are one of the best.
Oh yeah, those are nice. I have basically all of Heaviosity stuff, all of it. I like it dirty.
You don't
Yeah.
say.
Oh, sorry. There we go. Now you can see us as well.
Tell us some more.
Oh, we can do that in the OnlyFans section of the show.
Yeah, that's the Triple X show that comes on later.
Yeah. Yep.
You push everything off the desk and away you go.
FS had another question. Have you ever experienced when remixing that the style or idea didn't fit or wasn't feasible and changed everything? For example, from symphonic to disco.
No. No, I don't think. It changed. I mean, I think we all do, don't we? We change up certain parts, don't we? But like I was saying with the Overlander track, you know when a specific tune has to be done a specific way, or it would sound right in only that way. And like I said, with the Overland, it should be guitars, not. So you could do it with symphony or electronic, but it just wouldn't have that spark that the melody carries. It's not designed for that.
Yeah.
But taking I think I've done that with something. I took a Sid tune that's completely quite uplifting, and I've done a down, not a sorrowful version of it, a slow, I don't know how you'd word it, not romantic, I don't know what you call like a soft, slow piece of music.
Ballad? Maybe.
Ballad, yeah, ballad, I suppose. I've done that with a few Sid tunes that are quite up tempo and quite full on, and just taken the structure of the melody and just seeing where it went. Like I've done one of the last Ninja 2 tunes that clearly Fast Loader's got it right. Half of them tunes are designed for guitars, and but I've done it with one of the tracks, which to me the tune represents in a sense the character. So I played it with nothing but a shakuhachi, is it? A flute. And just with a koto pluck going. That's the only way I've took something that's quite extreme and done it real soft. But I think you can do that with any piece of music. It's just whether it'll turn out right or not.
Yeah, you can wrap it, kind of package it differently with things around to make it work.
You hear it today in trailers. They'll take an 80s classic pop song and turn it into this beast of a track, for a movie. Or
Yeah, they do quite some remixing nowadays. Like I missed out on following like the actual pop songs and whatnot for a while, and what I see now is that half of the tunes are remixes out there. Like they just go back to the reusing melodies from earlier.
Yeah. And everyone's out of ideas nowadays.
Yeah.
That's your modern musician for you.
Yeah, it's going to be tough when you get all the AI stuff out there now. All it's going to do is take all the 80s and 90s tracks and then just remake like parts of them and make like new variants of exactly the same thing.
Yeah. AI will be a thing. I saw a guy doing a thing on video where he set up the instruments and he whistled and hummed the tune and tapped the side of his keyboard for the percussion.
Yeah.
And he made this whole track.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love that because you get so many ideas in your head. You're like, it's like great, but you forget it by the time you switch everything on. But to be able to just do that and have the instruments play it, it's lazy.
Like, we all have one of these in our pocket. Soon you'll be able to just whistle or hum the thing to it, and it'll just go off and do the rest of the track.
I'm old school. All my musical notes are on here.
It's the iPad 1.
Yeah.
And in what format do you note your notes? Like normal, like sheet notes, or is it like?
I don't know what. I'll just write down. I'll listen to something and I'll think now that needs. I'll just write timings down maybe, or I'll put the percussions too loud towards the end, or beginnings too slow. Change the flute at the beginning. Just those kind of notes.
Okay.
But I know what they mean.
So not noting melodies, but like other stuff that you would change.
Yeah, I never. Oh no, I can't make a notes of a melody. No, I would love to be able to do that. You know, where you can just write the notes if you was out somewhere and then play it.
Yeah.
But it's too late to learn stuff like that, and it wouldn't benefit me anyway. So.
Never too late. Never too late.
But you do know, if you hear like a melody, could you play it on the keyboard?
Yeah.
Okay. So then you're one step ahead of me, because that means you could technically write down the notes for the melody on paper as well. All you need is just a couple of rows.
Counting.
Black and white notes, and just tick the ones where the keys are. Yeah,
exactly.
I suppose, but you wouldn't know what order to play them, would you?
You put them in a timeline, just like in a DAW.
I suppose, yeah, that would work.
Like a piano roll, but on paper.
Yeah, I've done that.
There we go.
Yeah, I've drawn notes, like if I'm on a transition between two parts and I think, well, the strings come down into this part, I won't remember this tomorrow, so I'll draw lines going down like MIDI notes from a DAW. Yeah. And then when I look back at it, I think, I don't copy the notes because I don't know what key they're in, but it reminds me of the thought I had, so I'll make little notes like that. And I do,
Makes
write
sense.
notes as if I'm writing MIDI. That's how I'll remind myself that there's something wants changing, or that's an idea. I can't do it for a melody because you wouldn't know what it would be. You just see notes going da, 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 but when I get an idea of things that I want to change down 2 or 3 keys, then I'll make lines knowing that that's representing MIDI notes. So yeah, pretty dumb, eh? But it works. We all have our own ways, don't we?
Yeah. I actually tried because Cubase you can actually just take like a mono track, not mono, but single instrument track, and transcribe that into notes, MIDI notes. So I actually experimented with, if I had an idea, I would just hum or whistle, and then I would take that recording into Cubase and just transpose or make MIDI notes out of that.
Oh yeah. I've seen that done. You can do that with something in FL Studio. I've seen a guy do it where you can take any. I mean, the good thing that FL Studio's got now, it's like you can do with other software, but it's built within, is that if I throw in a track, it'll separate the stems for me from vocal, bass, drum. That's a good feature, but I've not used it. But it's still good, especially when you listen to Thomas Bergerson and try and listen how he does it. But it's just a complete mess. You get 4 stems of just garbage, you know.
Yeah.
It isn't garbage. But I have seen the software where it can take, if you had a guitar solo from Mark Knopfler or something, you can put that audio file into this thing and it will generate the MIDI notes.
Yeah, it's Melodyne.
Not precisely, but close. You can do it with vocals too.
Yeah, Melodyne.
Is that a program? Or?
Yeah, Melodyne is like a standalone program or a VST plugin. I have a copy of it. It's pretty nice. It recognizes like the vibratos and stuff, so you can go, if you have recorded vocals, for instance, you can go in and edit fix if someone has too much vibrato, you just go in, not that much, that sort of thing. Yeah. Oh, wrong note. Yeah, just fix it
on the FL Studio because I had to put in when I redid Rastan, the woman singing at the beginning. Again, she sings phrases, so I had to chop it up and stretch the phrases and piece them up.
Yeah,
and there's a program in there and each volume goes in like a MIDI, like a playlist, like a MIDI. You know, when you do your MIDI notes, you know, is it playlist? What do you call it? Where you can see your pattern.
Yeah, I would call a MIDI clip, I guess.
Yeah, the vocals come up in there, and you can slide them to one another. You can extend them, chop them, and these are features. There's so many features in these doors that you don't even know they're there unless you see someone on YouTube using it.
Exactly.
But, yeah,
the rabbit hole is really, really deep.
Loads of tools. And you always think, God, I could use that. Or you'll watch someone, you think, that's a good idea. Like, they got this patch and I can route Omnisphere with this, that, and the other. And you think, that would be great. And then when you switch it on, you go back to the old-fashioned way you do stuff. You just plug that in. And I don't experiment in it. Yeah, or you get stuck in your ways.
Yeah, or you try it and you go like, oh, yeah, there's this great thing that I remember from seeing in a video. I think I remember how it's done. And then you go and patch things up the way you think it is, and then it sounds absolutely horrible. You go, this isn't working. Fuck this shit. I'll go back to whatever I was doing before.
You just need to follow the step-by-step tutorial.
Yeah, exactly. But who has time for that?
Yep. Too much information on the internet.
I think we've been talking quite a lot of crap tonight, haven't we, really? A lot of people are switched off by now. You know, it's like a couple of people sat around a coffee table having a chat.
I think they still didn't, though. So we have some people with us, guaranteed. That's for sure. Yes, they don't really. They did not really drop off. It doesn't seem like it.
Not yet. I think they're waiting for some good final words.
Wrap-ups or something. Yes, but we talked certainly about a lot of things, and I think that we learned a lot about your processes. So if anyone wants to pick your brain now, this is the video they need to watch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if people are putting anything, but I haven't got Discord up or anything. My phone keeps buzzing, so imagine there's something. I'll go back and check stuff. Sorry if anyone's asked me anything.
There's a couple of mentions in there.
I don't see it.
Yes.
I think we got through most of the questions from the listeners.
All of the questions. Yeah, actually, yes.
Oh, wait. We just got a new one from Tomsk.
Oh.
Ask Glyn when he's going to throw in the towel and give someone else a go at the roti.
It's my first. I finally get there. He's giving me stick about it. Well, I don't think I'll get it again because he's the guy who told me that once I hit Opus, I can't go any higher. So.
Is it that you technically can't, or is he forbidding you?
No, I think he can't see me going any. He likes that track. I don't know, for some reason he hears stuff in it I didn't even know was there, but he thinks I've picked at that point. Yeah, but he does like to rip into me, Tom. That's his nature. He's nasty. No, he's a good guy.
Yeah, and you will be hearing more from him next week, because we will have him on for the same type of thing next week.
Yes.
So that's going to be interesting.
I'll rip into him, I think.
Yeah.
I have to think of something I can put up that, will stump him. I don't know what, but I'll think of something.
You have 1 week to think about anything you would want to ask him.
Exactly.
He will be here in the exact same position where you are sitting now in our room. So,
Oh,
and now he started to be afraid. I can sense that.
I'm going to tell him after when he messages me how bad it is. It's really uncomfortable.
Definitely not recommended.
Don't
horrible
go there. Make
experience.
up an excuse. Say you've got to go out or something. I'm only kidding. I don't mean it.
So it was terrible.
Yeah. So thank you very, very much for joining us tonight. It was such a blast. I had so much fun.
Thank you for asking.
Finally getting you one-on-one. You were on one of the encore talks earlier, but having you one-on-one has been really fun. And people had very many good questions, I thought. Yeah.
Yes.
It's interesting. You made me think and listen to some stuff I haven't done in a long time. Let's not go there again.
Well, sorry, it wasn't our choice, really. So, but that
I think someone did it
shows
on purpose.
that just shows that the people also remember the early stuff that you did. So they're not
nice.
only hooked on.
Nice. Yes. I'm only kidding. It's nice that people still listen to this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like they will just keep going. So, yeah, don't stop trying to hit Opus's level, because I think sooner or later you might.
I think, it's going to be like, you get the tralala thing out there on RKO, and then you go back and like, well, I could do another Opus type thing. Let me just pull together a couple of things. A couple of weeks later, something new hits RKO, and it's like massive, like, I don't know, some John Williams shit or...
I don't think there'll be another Opus, especially for its length. But no, I don't hear anything special in Opus. I think I can still play something as equal. It just gives you more fire. I have to prove Barry wrong if I can.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have some goals. Prove Barry wrong seems to be a good one.
At least it's well received. I'm happy. I mean, the thing is, what I always enjoy is that you sit here, you do this music, and people listen to it. You know, it's not just sat on your hard drive. So, I appreciate everyone for that. They take the time to listen and download, and
But that
It's all
also
good,
kind
it's all
of gives you the thinking, probably, should you release anything from your drawer then? Or should they just sit there forever?
No, I don't know. I think, like I said, you also get that side of it when I listen to, like that one I'm just doing now, the Tralala thing. That isn't nowhere near as technical or as well constructed or anything as the Opus track. So if I release that one, we'll see how it's received, if Barry's right or not. Hopefully not, and then I can say, shut it, Barry, you fucking shit, man. No, he's a good egg. He's a good egg. Like I said, he's the kind of guy who'll tell you how it is straight, and I prefer people that way.
Yeah, that's exactly the way Danko is as well.
Exactly.
Straight shooter, Pete as well. So, like him in that way, it's very much easier when you know exactly where you have people. So.
Yeah.
No tiptoeing or anything. So thank you very much for being with us tonight. We enjoyed it a whole lot. I don't know how you felt. Terrible.
Well, I'm fine. I just feel like, I don't know, you're supposed to be playing like remixes, not mine, but on the show. And it seems like
we
a lot of the
honestly
time
thought,
was wasted on me. You know,
oh
it's
my
like,
god,
Wasted?
oh terrible.
Oh, Jesus.
We also thought
No,
that
I
we
mean-
might play more music, maybe, but natural flow of the conversation. It felt like it's probably then better to carry on. So,
okay.
yeah.
As long as people don't mind. Danny will be different next week. He'll be like, play a track. He'll ask him one question, he'll be like, play a track. No, I don't know how he'll be. I doubt it. He's all right. He's all right on camera, I think. I'm just trying to think of something to get back at him, So, while I've got this platform now, I might as well go for it.
Oh, poor Tomsk.
Yep, well, you will get it. But yes, also thank you so much for providing all those awesome remixes over the years. Very happy that finally you got the awards that you deserve.
Yeah. No, I mean, just reading a comment when someone puts nice track or something, that's the reward, really. But yeah, I'm not going to knock it. It's nice to be finally up there in the ranks with the others. It's part of the, I don't know what you call them, the Rat Pack or whatever. Yeah, I've done that now. I can stop.
No. Okay, we take it back. You didn't win anything.
Yeah. I'm only kidding.
Well, now it's the next goal to beat Opus, so I guess it's all set.
You still have some work to do.
Yeah, you still
Get
need
on
to
it.
prove some people wrong who think that this is it.
Yeah.
Always something to strive towards. So, yeah, to wrap this up, really, really thankful for this whole evening, and also thank you very much for all the questions, guys. So really good questions, by the way. So we couldn't have done better, really, I think. So I'm so happy that...
we kind of went in a little bit unprepared with this interview, so very nice to have a lot of good questions from the
I mean, we had the default ones, but they are boring anyway. So
exactly.
it's better to go on just like that. And also a shout out again to DMC. Thank you very much for our warm-up for the evening.
That was awesome.
And that was half our non-stop music. So we had our music part right at the start of the show.
No, technically it was a different show.
Yes, technically it was a different show, just so later on it can be found separately in the archive. But this is why. So technically it was a warm-up and non-stop music. No one can complain. Absolutely. And let us not forget then that next week we will be back with Tomsk at this very place, and this gives Glyn,
this very TV.
Meanwhile I'm talking, Glyn can still come up with something.
He's plotting already.
Yeah. I might even post some of his early work in progresses off Encore 500. So yeah, this to this then. This is the remix to Tomsk. Only kidding. We know how good he is.
And of course, no one should forget that Boss Radio is also on our radar. So if you want to listen to live shows on other days of the evening, then you can do that on Saturdays, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. And yeah, I guess we will be back next week with our regular schedule, and the following week after that we will be off for 1 week, or at least I will be off. I don't know how he will do something or not, but we will see about that. So
I might actually continue on the thingy, but that would be Discord only.
The thingy.
So if you want to join in on my struggles on making a remix, or attempting making a remix of Bubble Bobble, there you go, Pete. So
You shouldn't have said that. That was a surprise. But
Nah,
anyway.
it wasn't a surprise. It was even in the
No.
description, I think, of the last
Okay,
one.
not for those that joined, but Pete didn't join yet. So anyway, so yeah, next week, 21st of March, we will be back with Tomsk, and 28th of March, either a little off or Slaygon will do some sort of remix somehow, somewhere.
Try to.
Try to.
Keyword, try.
Yes, and after that, of course, in April, we will be back according to regular schedule again. And thank you, everyone, once again. Very, very grateful for everything.
Yes, thank you everyone for joining us, and especially Glyn.
Yes, who dedicated his whole evening
Yeah.
answering
As a
questions.
very, very busy man. Nah, I enjoyed it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for asking.
I can see how busy you are on your desktop there.
Yeah, I normally have a cover on this, but it's been washed because it's not one of like just a black piece of material,
Yeah.
and over time it collects dust.
Yeah, that's,
But yeah, I don't like leaving it exposed because of the dust.
yeah.
I'm a bit like you with the studio. I've got a little brush,
Yeah.
go around everywhere.
Paintbrush.
Yeah. I also have this guy when I'm doing music he does that. See, it's Miss Stormtrooper.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So when I'm doing something that's pretty bad, I'll look at him and he's like, "Oh God, I'm like, what?"
What's your problem?
Yeah, it's not that bad. Come on, jeez.
I need a facepalm figure so I can photograph it and send it to anyone when I have a reaction of facepalm. That's perfect for that. So yeah, thank you very much. You might still hang on a little bit just to say proper goodbye, or we will let you if you want to run away. And what else we could finish this show with? What else than the one that he needs to top now? This is the next task.
Oh no! It's
Oh
just
yeah!
good.
Oh no!
I think I gotta run now. I can't hear it actually. I can't hear what you're playing.
Yeah,
No,
we haven't
well,
started it yet.
We didn't, but we
Oh,
will.
okay.
So we will. So hang on. But pretty sure you heard this many times. So anyway, but yes, we will say goodbye for tonight with Glyn's opus that totally won everything of last year. I mean, at least 3 categories. We will come with the awards, by the way, soon. But yeah, they will be in production soon. So it takes us usually a good 1-2 months to get there.
Yeah.
And again, thank you, Glyn, online. And then we will thank you offline as well, off air as well.
Thank you.
And
I'll see you again.
we are already playing it.
We are already playing
Oh,
it.
yeah. Okay. So, yes.
I'll have to put it up on my phone maybe. Like I said, I haven't been able to read anyone's comments, so sorry for that. I'm not being ignorant. I just haven't got this going up. So I'll get around to them. I think I'll have a brew and sit and read all the abusive stuff.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and see you next week. And have a good night and sleep in tights.
Bye.
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 Play Radio. Live.
Because it's very nice.